You are now listening to the Old Head, New Head podcast with your hosts, Eric Iberg and Ethan Schaefer.
Goddamn kids.
Shut up, old man!
I was here.
What's up?
Cold.
It's cold again.
Dude, it's cold. It's been raining for like Mount Hood style. I think we're at like 30 hours now, and like it is fucking a lot. And it's 40 degrees.
Yeah, it's still raining here at Hood. But I went skiing yesterday after our show, after the Emmett show, and it was good, but it was rainy. You couldn't see anything with the fog, like at all.
Did you get more fucked up than last night since it was your birthday?
We went out to Charlie's again. It was fun. They got a pool table. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, it was a fun time.
They got a pool table.
Yesterday was nuts, huh? Or should we say last episode?
Last episode. Yeah, yesterday, last episode, however you want to say it, with Emmett, was that was a marathon one. I didn't expect it to go 4 hours.
You didn't know. Minnesota, Wisconsin, it could have been fucking 12 hours at that point. I had so much shit you for sure didn't learn about with those people and locations.
Yeah, I actually did think you guys were going to go deeper on the Midwest icons, but we kind of skated through.
He didn't have them. Like I went through it with him. Like he didn't have the icons as far as he is. I'll say it again. We ended the show like it. I thought about it last night and this morning. He's the biggest dude in our sport ever to come out of the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, I actually thought about that too while I was driving in the mountain. I'm like, damn, he might actually be like the most influential figure in skiing from the state ever.
Yeah. So, dude, like this is sick because you have to understand. Like we got Caleb, he's from Michigan.
Yep.
Then we got homie from Wisconsin, and like these are big people. Now Caleb's a little like there's a lot of Michigan super legends in our sport.
Yeah, that's a lot of competition.
At the same time, Caleb's fucking up top as far as relevancy in our sport now, coming from a small town in Michigan. Fucking homie coming from a small town in Wisconsin. Not so small. He says high school is huge, but fucking dope, man. So
It's
Wisconsin kids, man. The dream is real. It can happen.
Yeah, I actually saw Caleb on the hill yesterday after we finished recording. Everyone was bundled up. All the rain gear came out yesterday. It's been bad. It's been bad. So I don't think I'll be moving here anytime soon. I think this finally sold me on it. We ain't staying.
No, you can't go until after the third week of June.
Yeah.
And then you got to, after third week of June, then you're like, what is this place? And then if you only live the last week of June to the second week of July, and you think that's how it could be, paradise.
All right, what you smoking on there?
Well, once again, we must give thanks to Ross Jacob at Dark Horse Farms for always supplying me with my THC and CBD needs. If you're in Minnesota, check him out on Instagram, Ross Jacob. He can take care of you, whatever you need. Want to build a grow or something in your house, little farm, he's got you. And then as always, big up Blazy Susan for letting me wrap up all my weed so I can smoke it during these shows and hit my DPHs. You drinking this morning?
Potentially. I got my supplies here from Rainier, the Big Red R. And
not every day I'm just like, man, this day drinking TV shows, it could turn into bad habits. But
yeah,
it's not even that. It's not even that awesome. I'm like, just got my breakfast in me, and I'm like, but the vibe has to be there. I'm not going to talk to these people in different parts of the world on a weekday all the time in my life.
Yeah, I got the supplies if we need it. It is 8:50 in the morning for our second day in a row, and we still have another episode tomorrow morning to do. So we're pacing ourselves right now. But thank you to the folks at the Big Red R, Rainier, and I'm going to try to get up to Seattle and see if I could meet them face to face. Get some other merch. Speaking of merch, we got stuff in the links in the description of this. We might have
what kind of merch do you keep talking about? Weekly you're bringing up merch. What are you slanging? You're slanging two-planker shit?
Yeah. I've had like a couple two-planker drops throughout the year, so I'll probably just everything I've sold before. I'll probably just relist it. T-shirts, hoodies, bunch of good stuff. Yeah. Add a couple new things. I know people are dying. I got my buddy Barkley's walking around this house right now. He needed a inspired Alaska hoodie. Yep. Oh, he said Barkley's around the corner. He wanted the navy with the gold.
That one was dope. I was so stoked to make all those state ones and pick the colors. Minnesota had the Golden Gopher colors, maroon sweatshirt with some gold fucking inspired print.
True. I was actually at Mount Hood, and this guy had an inspired hoodie, it was like the Chronic one, so it was just all like the leaves doing the logo, and it was so faded that you couldn't even see the colors anymore. It was just like the negative of where the graphic used to be. So he had a gray hoodie with a negative of.
Dude, I've been blown away when I see people rocking it with full fades like every week when they make their posts or something. I'm like, yo, they love this shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Give thanks to anyone still rocking Inspired, man. Super inspired by you guys.
You gonna drop any hoodies this fall?
I don't know. Like the only way I think I would do it is if maybe this summer I ask people if they want something, and then I can just like produce a higher quality product, but know I'll sell out. Because the print to order was cool, got everyone what they wanted, but it's not the highest quality, right?
Yeah.
And so like if I can figure out where I don't have to have inventory or be a customer service person or do returns, then I'm into it.
That's the tricky part. Yeah, because you have a way higher volume of orders.
Like even got lucky when I did those inspired jib skin pants because we pretty much sold out before I got them, and then I just got them and shipped them.
That's pretty sick, yeah.
But yeah, what else, man? We got to thank all our people for the assistance on the GoFundMe. That's beyond awesome to see everyone that's helping us out and supporting the show so we can keep going. Other fun things, I should have freeskiingmuseum.com up and running, and it's a history website on everything and anything twin tip skiing. Check out bne.store for all Phil and Hendricks pro model shit. That's up and running right now. And I think there's more, but fuck, that's it. You guys listen to other episodes. We got some of the shit at the beginning.
If they're listening, subscribe, give us a little 5-star rating. All that dumb metric stuff that's annoying to do, it does help the growth of the show. Helps us get monetized, all that stuff.
Oh, you know what else? There should be Lil B-Dog books out, so I don't hype this at all. But last winter I wrote my first kids book. It's called Lil B-Dog First Ski Adventure. So maybe we'll have a second one out by this time when this show comes out. Lil B-Dog learns the alphabet, or Lil B-Dog learns to count. We'll see. These are goals throughout the year.
My favorite
out on Amazon.
My favorite B-Dog-ism is when you're DMing him on Instagram, he always puts the paw print emoji. It's like his little sign off.
When you send a message?
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
He's got like a signature on his message every time. It's pretty lit.
I think it's normally not. All right, man. Well, we got like 5 minutes leading in today's show. So today's guest is, I would say, the queen of twin tip free skiing, freestyle. She's women's foundation of our sport. She's an icon. She's a legend. She participated at the highest level of our sport from age 15 in the year 2000 until I don't know if she went to the last Olympics, but I know she did in 2018 as well.
Yeah.
So almost 20 plus year career. Before she was a competitor, she was like a film skier, had tricks. She was like a little kid aerialist and then like moved into dope shit. First girl I ever saw do a rodeo when she was 15 in France in the spring of 2000. Just dope ass shit. Do you know anything about her previous to this?
I had never heard of Marie Martinod before Giving Flowers. And if anybody wants to listen to Giving Flowers, it's on the same podcast feed that we got right now. Interviews with a bunch of legends. But yeah, I knew nothing about her. And French legend. She's dope.
Yeah, so she's kind of like, I don't know. If like we're looking at the queen of our sport and we always talk about Sarah, I mean, shit. Marie, man, the span of her career, like, it's crazy. And I was just watching runs. Like, it sucks because if you type in her name on YouTube or internet, it's only half pipe runs.
Yeah.
But like to really, she was like a female Mikel.
Sick.
Okay, so when she was 15 to maybe whatever, so 25 more years, 15 to 20, she rolling around like Mikel. She's thugged out, big clothes, doing all this dope shit, smoking a bunch of weed, fucking has a snooze that she'd pack with an injector, without the needle on the end and then push it up in her lip. And you're like, who the fuck is this little girl? Because I was like, I think I'm 5 years older than her. But yeah, I was blown away. But because she's the same age pretty much as Meek, or like a year younger than him and Tanner.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to talk to her. She's been hard to track down. We've been trying to get this one for a couple weeks now, but we got it. We got it locked in right now.
Yeah, she got multiple kids. I don't know what she does totally for work and life now, but yeah, she's adulting.
Yeah. No, it'll be tight. I'm excited to talk to her. Second one of the week.
We're charging.
We're running through these. We're in a much better spot than we were last year in May.
Oh yeah? I thought May we went nuts last year too, but
what did we do last
I got no recorded relevance.
Yeah. Who did we do? OSAP, Edjoy. We got after it last year. But we're really getting after it this year.
But I think the fun part, we can do the end of this series. We can like do the last guys and like after the season starts. So we're a little sneaky and super relevant.
Yeah.
Because if we do go into December, you know, like right now we're only at the third week of October, I think, with this show.
Yeah. This is number 7.
People are just bored.
Yeah.
Chug, man, I'm stoked to do that random one. Like he is gonna bring. I was thinking too, like after you brought him up, I was like, "Yo, Rex Thomas, we have to have him." His parents owned a strip club when he came in the scene, and he's from Alberta.
Yeah,
he was doing both way nines in 2000, and he was pissed that people were beating him when he could spin both ways, but no one cared.
Damn, Rex Thomas, I gotta look him up. Yeah, I dig deep for the Chug one. I was like, okay, who? If I could talk to, because that's how I view this show as an opportunity to talk to anyone, any skier, you know, besides Candide. In my mind, we can get anyone.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, if I could talk to anyone, who do I want to talk to? And it's like, okay, let's get some people that, you know, you never, ever hear from at all.
Dude, Chug, he's from Yukon.
Yeah.
So, like, once again, we're going to have another person that's fucking, like, represents their region solo.
Yeah.
That shit's ill.
It's going to be so sick. Yeah, like the Crichton episode, I think, sums up what this show is really well. It's like pulling the people out of the woodwork, being like, yo, you influenced the sport and then you dipped. Where are you at? Where are you at these days? So it's going to be, I'm so excited for that. And his only other episode
Chug was a
Simon.
Special element.
Yeah. He was like the first web series. He was doing vlogs before vlogs were a thing.
Yeah, he was wild.
Crazy.
I just remember he was too naked for me.
He was always naked.
Some people are into that, you know. A lot of Canadians are. They love getting naked together, you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of us Americans are just not as into it. We shower with our shorts on sometimes.
It'll be sick. But we got the French legend today. Stop the presses. We got Marie joining.
Hello.
Bonjour, Marie.
Bonjour.
Hi, Marie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, and it's good to see you guys.
Yes.
Well, thanks for taking the time, finding the time.
Yeah, I'm dead laughing because so I quit the family and I said, okay, I'm going in my desk to have this American podcast with my guys, and my husband, he looked at me and he's like, hey, is that the same guy that the other day that used to smoke the big doobie the whole way long while you were registrating? And I was like, yeah, that's Eric. And he's like, oh, I remember this guy.
The big doobie all day long.
So sick. Marie, where are you coming to us from?
Right now I'm in M, Savoie. So Europe, France, Savoie, Alps, Savoie, M La Plagne.
Awesome.
So this is La Plagne. You actually live in the resort?
Yeah, I'm in the valley.
Okay. Nice. Well, I'm gonna start why we do this show. So like the giving flowers when Phil and I talked, that was just to tell you how awesome you were the whole time. But this kind of show is I was on Ethan's show like 2 years ago, and he does a thing called Two Planker Podcast Two Planker Network. And Ethan's 20 years younger than me. And so when I'm dealing with this, now I'm also, the last 2 years, I've been working with Phil and Henrik as their manager and helping them out. And they're old now, right? Phil Casabon's like 36, Henrik's like 32, 33. So I realized like we're all super old. Now, what I thought would be interesting is if I could meet Ethan's friends and the kids that are so dope in the sport now, pick their brain on what they're doing, why they're doing it, and what their purpose is. Because when we were young, like we were gung-ho. We're like, we're going to make this happen. We're going to do that, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to travel and sleep on someone's couch and just do something, whatever. So the show is kind of for me to pick the young kids' brains that are the best in the world and see what they're trying to do and create. And then we talk to the old heads like you. And then we talk and learn about how you guys created your own lane, because you are very unique in our sport. You're foundation of our sport. You're a legend in our sport. Your longevity of lasting 2 decades in the sport is wild. Reinvention of yourself as a straight competitor skier. So the point of this conversation is just kind of teach young kids, first of all, who you are, because a lot of the audience that Ethan talks to doesn't have a clue. Ethan didn't even know who you were. And so Ethan only knows Johnny Mosley because he was the narrator on Warren Miller movies. So he didn't even know Johnny Mosley was a skier. So, yeah, and so same thing with you, right? Like not many North Americans have a clue who you are, but they all should know who you are. So this shows to tell your story, where you came from, why you created who you are, and why you were successful, and why you're still alive and going and what you're doing. So that's it. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it a lot, Marie.
I'm stoked to be with you guys, and I'll try to have my best English for you, because I quit talking English kind of, and so sometimes it's hard to make it together.
I still haven't learned French, Marie.
Thanks for having me, really.
Yeah, it'll be great. It'll be very good. So we always start at the very beginning. We got to give everyone the baseline. So could you tell us like what was it like growing up? Where you grew up? Did you have siblings? We'll start there and then work our way forward.
Nice. I was 8 years old when the Olympics arrived in my resort, and so I saw first time.
Earlier, Marie.
Yeah.
What year were you born in?
Oh, I was born in Bourg-Saint-Maurice.
Okay.
Bourg-Saint-Maurice, a small resort at the end of the valley, in the 20th of July, 1984.
Happy birthday in 2 months.
Yeah, I'll turn 41 in 2 months. My gosh.
So you were born in Bourg-Saint-Maurice, and then where did you stay there? Did you grow up there, or did you move somewhere at a young age?
No, it's just I've always been around here, like 15 kilometers around. So La Plagne, Bourg-Saint-Maurice, La Plagne, Les Arcs. It's all those famous French resorts are very close. But I used to ski in La Plagne forever, where Julien Régnier was skiing too. And he was the first guy coming back from the US. I remember this winter, maybe 1998, something like that. He came back from a trip in Canada, and he was like, yeah, dude, mogul skier, it's the end. There is a new kind of ski, and you have to grab your skis, and I've been doing it with some other fellows out there in Quebec, and I'll show you. And so we've been skiing with him back from there, and it was amazing. And we were kids, like maybe.
We got to go back further, going back before skiing. So do you have any brothers or sisters?
Oh yeah, I have one sister, which is 2 years old younger than me.
Okay, and did you grow up with a mom and dad?
Yeah, mom and dad forever until my dad passed a few years ago. But when we were young, like the typical normal family.
Yeah, and so since you grew up in this famous area, you guys grew up skiing. It was normal, like your parents skied, and then took you at a young age?
my dad is not skiing at all. My mom is a ski instructor, but they pretty much quit. She quit skiing and she's really into business with my dad. And so it's my granda that take us to ski always, and that's how I keep on skiing when I'm young, until I get into this special crew at around 9, and then I was only skiing with my fellow guys.
So at 9, was it a team, a sport, or was it lessons, or was it
Yeah.
freestyle already at 9?
Yeah, it was a freestyle club where you're supposed to go through to make competition when you get older, and it was about mogul and aerial jumping. And I was pretty good at aerial jumping, actually. I was doing flips and stuff like that, and I was young. I was 10 when I did my first. So reason
So
why they
once
kept.
again, Ethan, to explain to Ethan, because we talked to Julien before, right?
Yeah.
And so I teach Ethan, I'm like, man, to grow up in this area in France in the early 90s, there was so many successful freestyle skiers, right? From Edgar to Raphael to, man, who's the Hedina star lady now? I don't know, but there's a bunch of unbelievable athletes that are doing moguls and aerials from France, from Marie's region, when you're 10 years old. So you have a lot of inspiration, I think.
Yeah.
Exactly, but typical freestyle inspiration, like mogul, and a bit of aerial jumper, and Julian come back and it changed everything because it just make it differently, and we are just all like, oh my god, we want to do this, it looks great. And he's like, he's cover from head to feet of Oakley stuff, and he looks dope, and we're like, oh, that's amazing, we want to do this. And so he talks about new sponsors. He starts to do twin tip skis, so he can land switch, and we're like, wow, skiing switch, amazing.
And so,
Well,
Ethan, also, this is crazy too, because mogul skiers wore team outfits. So the fact that Julien went across an ocean and came back with cool looking clothes that didn't have a national team patch on it, and he wasn't even on the A team yet, right? Because he just started, that was his first World Cup year when he went there, and that was the Olympic year, 97, 98. So it's to see a mogul guy get stuff. Like, dude, you had to pay for your skis back then if you were the best in the world.
Wow.
So like for Julien to come back with free stuff was unheard of.
So sick. And Marie, you said the Olympics were at your local resort when you were a kid, or they were just in France?
no, in my local resort in La Plagne, it was bobsleigh.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's still bobsleigh, and but I've been doing it for fun, but never.
So
figured-
before this Julien thing, were you, because I knew you when I first met you in spring of 2000, you were an aerialist, right? So you were a 15-year-old girl that I was introduced to through Cedric Mazier. And he's like, oh man, she's one of the best up and coming aerialists. So my question to you is, when you got on this team, did you do moguls, aerials, and did you do ballet in the mid 90s?
No ballet, because it was not anymore. So I have few remembers at the total beginning where we did a little bit, but not that many. But in the summertime, back at this period, I was a water ski. I was a water skier, and the way you would flip on water ski, same way as with wakeboards, and it was the same way on skis to do rodeos. And so I started to flip rodeos pretty soon, and that's why Cedric Mazier, he saw me on the big air doing rodeo 5 and rodeo 7, and he was like, oh yeah, yeah, I need this girl. And so back at
Going
this
back to
time,
aerials, because I'm super stoked on aerials and moguls.
really?
So when you did aerials, especially as a young French person, did you have to learn your back and your back full or back tuck on snow, or did you do water ramps in the summertime growing up?
My first backflip was on snow.
Okay.
First
And
one. We used to do it on trampoline a little bit, and after a while, Greg, the coach, he said, "Okay, now it's time to do it on skis." So yeah, it was no bags, no water ramps, nothing, snow. And so he built this small little backflip ramp, and we all had to make our first. It's one of my favorites. Remember, because
so when you compete, but you
great.
competed in an aerial competition previous, right? Like you've done
Yeah,
inverted
after that,
aerial
I
competition.
started to compete. Yeah.
So when you're hitting a 2 meter high kick, single kicker, or
Mm.
whatever it is, and it's a official aerial site, you just went and did a back layout on that monster jump.
Yeah. And I landed on my back too. I spin too much, and I landed on my back so many times, and I had to do it again and again and again until I could make it perfectly, and thing
And I
went.
asked this because in America at this time in 1995, let's say 96, I would have had to go to the water ramps and do a perfect backflip into water 100 times to even be allowed to try it on snow in my country. So I was curious on your progression, because we could have never landed on our back nonstop because then we could have sued.
Yeah, everybody know that Americans people are pussy.
Yeah. It's fun.
No, but after that, we've been training on water ramp, and we used to go in Evian. But it's later on. I remember my first one was on skis for sure. Yeah.
So you did water ramps then, and I'm just bringing you to the point of like Cedric or something, because I'm guessing the year that 2000 was the year that he found you and brought you to Big Air after maybe a nationals or a junior nationals and aerials, right? Because I'm pretty sure it was April of 2000 in where it was Vars or the Three Valleys. David Fakey Brun's father had a restaurant wherever that contest was. It was Vars for the Mad Masters or the Yo's Winter Games.
Bad Masters. Oh my God. You have much more memories than me. I had too much concussion. Yeah.
So
I
Julian comes back though. So now we're in 98, right? Julian comes back. You see him in dope ass shit. Now Julian makes the Olympic team. So now Julian's going to Nagano. Now you have this like young cool guy that gets to go to Nagano and grab his skis and do this. So when he comes back in 98 in the spring, are you still full on aerials? Or are you starting to try stuff at that time?
No, at this period, we do everything. We are on skis every day, and we have to follow the rules. So we have to ski mogul and ski aerial for sure, and progress in this particular discipline. But as soon as we have 5 minutes, we go on the side of the slopes to hit some natural kicker and do some flips with grabs, and months after months they start to cut the big aerial, and they cut them to make floaters, and so you can jump more flat, and we start to see people doing rodeos or misty on national aerial competition, which is like nonsense. But there is this period where everything is mixed, and step after step, they separate the stuff, and we start to have bigger contests, like maybe beginning of 2000, I'd say.
So there was a period.
So
of
when
time
you're
where
this
they were
age,
just treating it
98,
like a big air jump. Like there was a period of time where the only way you could really jump consistently was an aerial. So people were just pulling up to aerial competitions, doing rodeos and misties. Were they grabbing?
Yeah. Yeah, grabbing. Mute was the grab. Like, if you could mute, you were like, it was the
Sickest.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't
but
deduct
say
points
like
for
in
grabs.
Minnesota, Ethan, in
Yeah.
1998, the only way you could hit a jump at Highland Hills in Minnesota was if you joined the freestyle team to hit the big jump. Right.
Oh,
So
yeah.
like at that time period, you watch kids come in and they'd be like, oh, I'm going to do a UFO. And you're like, what the fuck is a UFO? And there's a 360 safety.
Yeah.
And so like they had all these different names, but it was 98, 99 in every little region of the world was so fun because all the freestyle organizations didn't know what the rules were anymore or what they should
Yeah.
allow.
Exactly, but that's what you have to know it, and it's even for my parents, it was really weird for them to see me trying to do something different, but known by nobody. When I told them I prefer to go on US trip with my teammate from Dynastar to shoot some backcountry instead of keeping going in the mogul way with doing European Cup or even World Cup, they would not freak out, but they would not understand what was wrong with me. You know, you have a perfect way, you are good at it, and you can go to until the Olympics, or you can try to grab your skis with people that smoke dubs and it was a total different world, and they would not really understand why or what was cool for me to do with those guys. So I had to not fight, but I had to prove them that it it was the way. It was the way.
So 98, 99, like who was the coolest people skiing and grabbing and doing flips like that you got to see in your community? Like you named Julian as one, but I'm assuming there's some other people
Yeah.
that are doing awesome things.
So GP, of course, GP Auclair.
And where did you see JP if you were at that year? Like through movies?
Yeah, movies.
Okay.
The Three Fields, because I very soon I get into the Dynastar team, so I met them, so the Three Fields, and then I remember I really focused on the Oakley team. I was like into the Oakley team, super
So
huge.
you met the Phils on their first Euro trip, spring of '99,
No, I don't think so.
when they all dressed the exact same outfit.
Yeah, no, I don't remember this. No, probably later on.
That was when Dino Star brought them. I think it was like March of '99. And so they just showed up, and then that was kind of when they signed their contracts and everything.
So I probably met them later. And then it was Pep Fujas, Tanner Hall, Mick Deschno, those guys.
And this is, but your influences, but because you're about to kind of blow up, but your influences before you start traveling with Dino Star, like who are they? Is it all movie people? Because I mean, Tanner, Pep, and Mikael and them weren't in movies at that point.
No, finally, I didn't have really any role model. I mean, we created it, so I don't really remember like watching at somebody and saying, "Ah, I want to do this when I will be older." You know,
So your influences to create tricks came from water skiing and aerials?
pretty much.
Okay.
And then trying to copy the guy or the girl the guy that were a little bit older than me, like Julian, like GP, Jeff Cusson, of course, Jeff Cusson. I was like fan, yeah.
So end of '99, you kind of figure out you don't want to do aerials. When does Dina Star come to you and say, "Hey, do you want to do tricks on skis?"
To be honest, I did it. I contact Dynastar, and it's the year before Cédric Mézières really take the whole team. And I contact them, and I'm like, okay, I'm 14, I guess, and I'm the French champion of aerial, of mogul. I start to do new tricks, and I start to follow this new new freestyle move. Can you help me? Can you give me skills? Can you just have a look at my book? And I remember this guy. He calls me back, and he's like, "Okay, as I understood, your dad knows my boss, the Dynastar boss, and so he told me that I should give you skills." And he pretty much shit on me, like okay, I'm gonna give you
Like, thanks for telling me I'm not good, but you have to.
Yeah, that's it. Like, because I have no idea who you are and I don't give a shit. But your dad knows my boss. So, and I was so disappointed. I met the whole book and I explained my stuff and I was really trying to push and to tell him, okay, that's what I'm doing and you should maybe have a look at it. And he just shit on me. And Cedric, so they sent me a few pairs of skis. And the next
And
year
do they
said,
send you twin tips at this point?
no, it was no twin tips.
Do you get that rip stick or that short ski everyone got? Like you know
No,
what I
not
mean?
neither. No, he sent me pretty normal skis, like a pair
Okay.
of normal skis as I can remember, and two other normal skis.
Okay.
Mm,
So you have your normal skis and you're like, sweet. So this is the fall time, right? Before the season almost?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so going into the season, what are you gonna do? Like you're not gonna go to a free ride. You don't have a free ride competition. Do you have a US Open on your schedule for spring in 2000?
No, but
Okay.
there is Cedric called me or he come to see me and he said, okay, there is the Yo's Winter Game in Austria, in Solden.
Yeah.
In March, something like that. And you're like, do you want to come? Sure, I want to come. What is yours? I don't even care and I don't even know what it is, but I want to come. Of course, you are inviting me. I'm coming. And so I went there, probably first time, yeah, an international competition, freestyle in Europe.
So I lied. This is where we first met. I didn't even
Right.
realize it. Yeah, because I came with the Dina Star team to that event. And then I
And
and
you
then I
are
shot on the hip and everything, and we watched 6 guys die in an avalanche while shooting on the hip.
it was terrible. Like, yeah, the weather was shit and it kept snowing forever. And I remember I just spent my whole time in the bars with Jeff Cusson.
I remember Falou got hit on by a gay guy and then he punched him.
Yeah.
Good, I forgot about all of this.
Wait, Ivor, tell this avalanche story. What happened with this?
We were shooting this hip. It was like woods and the Dina Star game. Pierre Esprigliere was there. Baptiste, Yoon, and maybe one other guy. And so we're filming, and it was like the first sunny day. I think the event was canceled. And so we went up at the end and we shot this, and we're looking over in like a range beyond like the chairlifts, and we just see the biggest avalanche ever. This is like my first or second time in Europe in life. So I'm watching this, and then we find out like at the bar that night that a bunch of people died. So
Crazy.
like, what? That's a normal conversation in snow world of tricks? Weird.
Yeah,
Wasn't really a mountain person, Marie.
bigger than Minnesota, yeah. That's crazy.
And back at this time, personally, I don't really speak English. Well, I've been learning it at school, but in the team, there is Salomon team, Dinosaur team, as I can remember. So the Salomon team, there is people from Japan, so they speak a bad English with a bad accent. There is people coming from the US, from Canada, from Australia. Everybody speaks English and can understand each other. And I'm just like in the middle of this and I can't really get anything. And Sarah is cool and she tried to explain me or re-explain me when a conversation is closed, and she's like, did you get it? I'm like, no. Of course no. And so I remember her like trying to help me getting into this community, kind of.
That's awesome.
So you go to this event, it was canceled, so nothing came of it. And that was like, I think it was like first week in November, because I went to La Plagne and stayed with Julie, and then for like 2 weeks after that. But what was your schedule after that? Like, do you go practice? Do you go film?
I don't remember. It's so old, and we've been going through so many things. And as I told you, and it's not a joke. I had too much concussion. Like my brain is fucked up.
So at this point, because we bring this up a lot, like I do, because I'm pretty adamant about how much you guys hit your head, and when maybe just say stop. But how many concussions did you have at this point as a 15-year-old?
Yeah, but too many. Maybe for my whole career, maybe like real concussion, 7.
Okay.
Um, Maybe then we moved to Vars. Is it the same year we moved to Vars?
So
Probably,
that
no?
Solden was in November, and then the Voss, where I came with the Phils, was like in March.
Oh, there we go. So I remember Vars.
Did you go to the U.S. Open that year?
No, I
Okay,
don't think. What's the year? Because
2000.
okay. Oh, you want? I'm gonna show you something. Just don't move.
We
Just
have a
see.
prop. She's grabbing a prop, and it's a trophy.
What?
So this is my first US Open trophy, and it's 2003.
Dope. Yeah, I don't think women had. I think Sarah showed up at 2000 for her first one, and then got a 4 run of Big Air, and I think she was the only girl in 2000.
Yeah, that's half pipe, but it's supposed to be half pipe. Amazing. So yeah, probably the first time I was in at the US Open, maybe the year before,
I
because
think 2001 because when I made royalty, I think we were all in a Dina Star house together in
yeah.
2001.
Marie,
But concussion,
So you did. So now my biggest question is when you're because you obviously trained, right? So the spring of 2000, Ethan is when I like saw her ski for the first time, and she did this rodeo 5 and rodeo 7. So she had baggy clothes, and she kind of skied like Mikel. And Mikel and her had their own style of everyone in the world, and Marie was a 15-year-old girl, so it kind of made her even doper. And so, like, did you going through that first season? What were tricks that you learned or did you do anything, or did you only do these tricks at a contest when you were supposed to? Or how does skiing go for you when you're not skiing with anyone else that's really doing it?
yeah, I guess the only way we could really train was on competition because the big air were perfectly shaped and well perfectly they were shaped. And it was everybody, so I had no coach actually, because at this period I quit skiing in the official Lapline team doing mogul and stuff, so I had no coach, so my coaches were my teammate from Dinosaur. So it was when we went on trip or where we were when we were others. That was the only way to train really. So I didn't progress that much. Well, I mean, I stayed on those rodeos and 3 and 5 and 7 for a bit, but the level was going. It was so different than now, where people are doing progress so fast and everything is changing so fast, and even from one year to the other, you almost have to learn different tricks and new grabs, like a person like me who is on TV just to try to comment those competition. It's amazing, but back at this
But
time.
Marie put it to say, like you had to learn. There was a new trick that we saw learned every day. So if you went skiing in 2000, 2001, every day you saw a new trick that you never saw before. And then you saw a trick that you never saw before that was learned because of visualization, not because of a water ramp or practice. So it was like
Yeah.
you either watch someone crash, get a concussion, or you'd watch someone land the dopest shit you ever saw.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and it was no doubles, it was just about like single trick.
Fun fact for the future stories is on that Solden hip that we built, I forgot Rex Thomas was there. Rex Thomas tried to do double backflip Liu Kang and double backflip tail. We all told him the shit was whack and save his doubles for aerials. And he said, I'm trying to progress the sport, guys. And then we boot him off the mountain.
Marie, I'd like to ask you because you're our first lady guest on the show. What was the scene like with the women at the time? Were there a lot of women freestylers, or was it just a small group within the larger niche of the sport?
Oh no, it was just maybe 4 or 5 of us. It was Christy Leskinen, Sarah Burke, me, and then a year after it was Virginie Fèvre, Grete Eliasson, and then it started to get bigger and bigger. But at the beginning, it was just 3 or 4 of us.
And Greta didn't come on the scene till 2004.
See,
So just to put that, and Virginie till 2003. So you had Marie, Sarah, and Christy solo on it pretty much from 2000 to 2003.
So there's 3 girls and a million guys. Were they always just fawning over you and just giving you guys attention all the time?
it was I don't know. It's such like. Yeah, probably some of them just wanted to sleep with me. Some other just thought I was cool and wanted to hang out with me, and because I was the French girl, the French styly girl, and some other just really didn't care at all. And so it was a whole mix.
How was it for you being a 16-year-old girl hanging out with all grown-ass men? And then like did it even like were they all like big brothers, or was it difficult because you were the only girl so you didn't have anyone to relate with if there was a weird situation, or was there no weird situations?
What I can say is that I never felt any unrespect situation. Maybe except once with a photographer that I will not give you name, because this guy, he was special. But for all of the other guy, and you were into them, Eric, they were just all super cool and just living the dream. And so I feel like they treated me like if I was one of them, just not
One
not
of the
much
homies.
more than this.
Yeah.
Because that's how I think of you when you slept on like our couch, you know? Like say when you lived with Phil and Sarah and myself and Eric. I mean, that was 2002 and 3. So you were pretty young at that time, and then I just laugh when you would call your boyfriend at the time because you had like a video or something and you would talk back and forth. And I just remember you always sitting in my office talking to him.
Ah, really?
Oh yeah. You don't remember this guy? Can you remember who you were dating in 2003? He was the funniest dude. He reminded me of a monkey, and he'd be always like, "Arr, arr, 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 arr."
Ah, that's Steph. Okay. It was a snowboarder. Yeah, sure. There we go.
That's so funny.
Yeah. He didn't speak any word of English.
Nope,
Yeah.
just body.
Yeah.
So when you get into this, now I'm curious when you get a sponsor, right? Because what's interesting is you have no one to compete against. Now, what I think is fun is, first of all, let's go back to your parents because you had to prove something. Now, I think in the early 2000s, there was enough way to prove like you were doing something, whether it was getting clothing or being in Skier magazine or something else. But did you have anything? Did you get a ski sponsor? Did anyone ever pay you? What was your life like, say, 2000 to 2003?
Yeah, Dynastar was paying me, Sun Valley was paying me, Oakley was paying me, and then year after year, it became my full-time job, and I quit school, and I could live from skiing pretty well, even because back at this time, the brand would pay all my flight, and the place where we were. I remember going to X Games so many times in beautiful houses that were paid by Dynastar or Oakley whenever. So the money I could get from skiing was really just for me and not to pay my ski life. So finally, I was making money, but it was not enough. My dad, for the story, my dad. The first time he told me, okay, I get you and I understand what you did, and now I know why you did it. Is after Olympic 2014, when I get back in teen, organize a special contest in honor of Sarah Burke, and 7,000 people would come just to see those girls in the quarter pipe and honoring Sarah. And it's the first time he told me, okay, Marie, I got it. I understand. But until now, I never understood what you were doing really. It's sick, no? But I cried. I cried
But you just
my
kept going, and then you finally showed him. You know,
yeah.
so you were at least you were able to finally get on his wavelength, so he could maybe understand. You know, some people just never understand. But
Probably.
so another fun thing I'd like to ask you. So say 2001. In my opinion, you are on the illest team in our sport. You got Candide on your team, you got Michela on your team, you got the three Phils on your team. Then you got some Frenchies that are awesome too, like Baptiste and Pierre. Do you ski with any of these guys at the time?
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Pierre is the one. I love Pierre. He was so nice, and he was the one my mom would trust in. For some reason, she thought he was, safer than the other. So he was the only one able to drive me because I'm 16. You said it. So you can't drive in a car in France when you're 16. So every time I needed a ride to go shoot somewhere or into a competition or whatever, Pierre would pick me up, and so I was allowed to go with Pierre. Um, so yeah,
Big
but it
up
was
Pierre. He was the nicest French guy to me. Everyone else not so nice to me as far as guys. But Pierre was always like the teddy bear guy. Like even if he didn't understand me, he'd still smile, help me out, be nice. So I always loved this guy as well. Beyond nice when I was around him.
But maybe back at this time, I had the energy to organize stuff. I wanted to do stuff. So those guys, I would organize the ski trip. I would organize the photo shoot. I would make it happen. Always. I remember I was always like a motor, like someone who tried to build stuff. So I was this person trying to make it happen, and we would go shoot because I organized it, and then it was the photos, the pictures were on the ski magazine because I first made it happen. That's for sure. I remember this. Those guys, they would push me to do better tricks, to do better stuff, to go up again because the photo was okay but not perfect. So they would push me, but I was always this person organizing everything. Like I hate to say that, but like a mom, or like a
But you had to be to put it in perspective. Looking back, well, you can't work to become a better skier to go to a contest that you're not invited to. You can't work for to try to be in a movie that's not having girls in them. And so if you didn't create anything, there probably wouldn't be shit for you. It just it's what you had to do in order to participate in the sport is create something.
Yeah.
So and yeah, no, I saw that. So you're doing this the first part, you're creating stuff, you have sponsors, they're paying you. But other than creating stuff out of passion and getting stuff done, how do you set goals? If like, do you want to win X Games? Do you even
I
see
wanna
that?
I wanna do X Games because remember, there's no girls at X Games, so Sarah is pushing for that. So we first maybe have a kind of a demonstration run before those guys, and there is a big fight in between us girl and ESPN because they keep on saying you are not enough. It's just 3 or 5 or 6 of you. It's not enough to make it to create the show. We need to put it on TV. And then us, we are saying, bah, if you don't do the show, they will not have any new girls trying to do it because they saw it on TV or because they have a goal, a purpose. So it was, yeah, it's been like we've been through those kind of discussion situation, and to finally have X game. You know better the dates than me. 2003 or 4 maybe.
I don't know.
2004?
Do you think it was the first year Armada was existent or the second year? And then I can tell you. Because the first year Armada was 2003, and then 2004 was the first year Greta was there.
Okay, I'd say 2003 was the first. The two girls in the global X Games. They made this global X game, and it
The one
was
in
in
Whistler.
time in Whistler.
Yeah.
So it was an ESPN trip where you have to build a team, European team against America. And it was summer, so there were some skater doing stuff out in West Coast, I don't know where. And us, we were on the glacier in Whistler doing some half pipe. So it's my first real competition as a woman. And then probably Aspen 2004.
Do you remember how you did at Global X Games?
Second.
Nice. Did Sarah win?
After Sarah, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, because that was Belan's only X Games win. And you guys didn't get a medal because it was a team event. And so he was all bummed he didn't get a medal that year.
Mm-hmm.
That's my only memory. And they gave you skateboards for free. It was a weird event.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome, Ethan.
That happened a lot. Huh? Yeah, even like after we had this competition, but we had no prize money. Yeah, we've been through everything you can be through when you're a girl and you want to push doors.
What was your first filming experience? Did you ever get called on it to shoot for any movies at an early time of your career?
No, my first real experience would be this movie called Salad Day.
Okay, TGR.
TGR, yeah. And Cedric would put pressure on me and kept on saying, we are paying a lot money to have you in the video, so you really have to, and it's a great chance. And I was happy to go shoot, but I didn't realize that someday I will be old and be able to say, hey, I've been shooting with pretty big American production, ski production. But that happened. It was fun. And then the second one, what was that? Oh yeah, level 1 probably.
That's the one where that's your most famous ski movie shot where you go in the hole?
Probably, yeah, and it kept on going on social media.
For life.
Once a year, I have it, and people are coming to talk to me on Instagram, like, it's you that did that, and I'm like, yeah.
How fun is it, like, to know that the stupidest thing or the worst accident in your life will always be the thing that's most remembered because people just love failures.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I love this, and it reminds me super cool trip in Utah with those guys, and I remember exactly, like, we built this stuff and it was huge, and after 3 or 4 hours of building, nobody wanted to speed check it, and I was like, at one time we're not gonna lose the whole day, so let's do it. And so I was like, okay, you don't want to do it, I'm gonna do it. But they would know why they would not go to do it, because it was like so puppy and so hard and so big that we needed so much speed, and then this happened.
So Ethan, for fun too, so you understand now, she's already on generation 2 of Venustar, right? But now she's in 2006, so she's like with Rainville, Dan Marion, fucking Corey Vanuler, Liam Downey. I don't know who I'm missing, but it's like the second generation of awesomeness. So already she's gone through maybe 3 different generations of people that have come and gone in our sport because you get injured and you're out. So because this is a big part of this conversation is how long you've lasted. Might have had a lot of head injuries. You probably have a lot of other real life shit, but you're still here. So that's ill as fuck. So now we're at an early phase and you're at a contest. Do you want to, now that you have the biggest platform, Olympics isn't really in the picture. It's might be a thought for everyone out down the road, but like because that's your main platform to be a winner or where people say you're great, like do you want to win? Like do you have this itch to be like, oh man, I really gotta win next year? Or is it just skiing still and creating?
No, it's still skiing, and for some reason, I feel like I'm never gonna win X Games. It's an American show making by American to make American people glow, and I feel like at this time, I feel like I'm just here to make it international, you know, like, oh, there is French people, there
But
is
you had Candy Thovex as a role model in 2000,
That's true.
2001, who dominated every American event.
Yeah, but Candide is Candide, you know,
True.
it's just like is yeah, coming from space. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna win it anyway. So I'm just happy to compete, and I'm happy because it's a real contest. It's a place. It's a safe place for a skier, and it's a place. It's the first time I have nice relation finally with the organization. They try to make us comfortable. They make a meeting before the contest. Like we are all seated in front of someone asking us if the course is nice, if we need to change anything. And I feel like they take care of what we need or what we want, or and it's great. I mean, it never ever happened before this, so I'm like, yeah, that's cool. X game is the shit.
So first years, what is because I remember men were winning like $30,000 for first place. Do you remember what your prize money was for second place at X Games? $0 the first year.
Yeah, probably zero. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, first time for sure zero. Probably Sarah went back to the desk and say, "Hey guys, that's not possible." And the year after, we had something, a little something.
So
So
Sarah
another
was the
thing,
person that would always like speak on behalf of all the women and be like, "Hey, this isn't right. We need this. We need that." Like that was her role and everything.
Yes,
Epic.
and if I would have speak a better English, I would have been right behind her. But yeah, I was bad. So we would talk about it on the side, and she was the one that would go in front. And she was good at it. She was very she could convince people, you know.
Was she that way with everything? Like when you would go out to a restaurant and somebody got food they didn't order?
she took charge and everything. It
Yeah.
was her show. Like, you guys
Yeah.
want to do this? All right, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Like, I'll plan it. I'll bring us there. I'll do that. And so it's like she's just a commander and leader and says, okay, it's get it done. Fuck that. I never see
Yeah,
her not
that's
follow through.
That's sick.
That's very true. It's not because she's dead and that we want to see her nicer or better than she was. It's really, it's the truth. She was like this.
That's amazing.
Mm.
Yeah.
So something else I want to bring up, because you were part of the very first ever FIS World Championships in Ruka, Finland in 2003, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was a big deal because the World Championships didn't happen again, I believe, until like 2009 or even 11. So it was like a big break after that. But when you all of a sudden go this path, because no one was doing FIS in 2003. 2003, they kind of convinced us. They created NORAMs in like the fall of 2004. So Tanner, Simon, everyone showed up at NORAMs that were created just for pro skiers to go because they were trying to sell the Olympics. Everyone went. But you girls were at the highest level because it allowed you to be at the highest level. So everyone went to 2003 Ruka, Finland. Like if you look at the women's list, it's all the dopest girl skiers in the world. You look at the men's list in 2003, it's all French guys I never fucking heard of. Like Matthias Wickstein and down. And if that was his name. But he won everything in World Cup for 6-7 years at that point. And so was it a big deal to do World Cup? Because we weren't thinking about it. I'm not sitting with Tanner or the Phils or anyone at my time in life that are guys in the sport being like, oh, fuck yeah, World Cups are dope.
But they were pretty much all happening in Europe. So for us, it was cool to imagine we could have kind of a tour. in Europe, and we didn't have the same access to everything as you in US. So I'd say that for us European, it was at the beginning nice to imagine we could do something with the fees. Even if I remember getting in Les Contamines in 2004, and my skis, I had a sticker, and it was saying fees sucks.
Huh?
I remember this guy from Fizz coming and say, "Are you serious? You come here to compete and with your Fizz sucks sticker?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't care." But we made it. I remember made it once, like one season, the 2004. I won the 3 or 4 contests. Took the globe, and never went again. It
So
wasn't.
is that your only globe in your career?
No, second one is 2017.
Fuck, 2004, 2017.
Yeah.
Ain't no one got that spread. Do you remember a girl from Belgium that competed for like 7 straight years on until the Olympics? She was always top 3. And I was doing my research and I was just like, man, that girl spent fucking 10 years in the FIS system and didn't make the Olympics.
Oh my God, I don't remember her name,
I'll
but yeah.
find it. So, but yeah, poor this girl. But next thing in skiing, because I think it was a huge part, and you're a creator. So I remember you were a humongous part with Au Nom Des Miens, aka BG, of an event called Queen's Cup in Park City. And I think that was And I think that was 2005, like
Yeah.
the first one, because I was blown, like that's early. So can you tell us about this too? Because at this point, you're getting paid $0 at X Games, or maybe your first paychecks that are a fraction of what men do. You don't have the outlets. FIS isn't really happening. So a bunch of girls go out and actually don't complain that they're not invited, but you guys created something. So this is something that like I think is important for the young people to hear. When people say, "Oh, I don't get this, I don't get that, I don't get this," well, just go make it, and that's what
make it.
you always did. So, can you tell us a little bit about Queen's Cup, when it was, how long it lasted,
Oh yeah, with
point,
pleasure.
why you were involved?
With pleasure. So the story is end of X game. Virginie, my friend from Switzerland, she tells me, "Oh, I'm moving to Utah at Anna de Massey's place for, I'd say, 2 or 3 weeks. Do you want to come?" And I was like, I was supposed to go back to Europe, but sure, let's do that. So I call my husband in France and tell him, "Okay, I'm just taking 2 weeks extra and going to Utah to Anna de Massey." And so we move, we stay at Anna's, and one night Anna is complaining because she's not a pro skier, and she doesn't have the level to be, but she loves to take pictures. She loves to be in this community, and she's like, "What could I do?" And I don't know. For some reason, I tell her, "You should organize a contest. You should just." Is it you? Oh yeah, it's you.
Yeah, I apologize.
No, that's fine. So I said you should just organize a contest, like a girl contest. Let's do a girl contest. Let's find some way to show the world that there are plenty of girls and that we are doing cool stuff. And so she's like, "Oh yeah, let's do it. We could do it." And so she started to work on the project, to contact Park City to host the thing, and something that was just an idea at 10 p.m. on the coach became the year after the first Queen's Cup Open, where a lot of girls came, like maybe 70% of them. I met them first met them, never seen them before, and I'm like, okay, actually there's a lot of girls.
And this was all the future. Just to tell Ethan, like every girl that came to that first event, maybe 2005 or 6, these were all the girls in the major events in 2009 and 10, right? Like I don't just from every place. Like that was their beginning. because to go to the US Open, you only got so much out of it. To go to the X Games, you only got so much out of it. To be on a team as only one girl, if you're supported at all, like you only got. So this was like the first place where girls got together ever in the history of our sport.
Exactly. And we made it like a team contest. So those girls would be, all of them would be skiing the whole day with a pretty, an original girl. So yeah, it creates something really cool, and it showed to all of us that all of us could have a place, even if it was more and more girl. We could all exist, be different from the others, and keep our sponsors, and keep our lifestyle, and keep on doing, because it's not that easy to spare a world where you've been doing it at 4, 5, 6 girls. It's pretty cool to be just 6 of us, and with all those guys, like you said, and you have the choice of everything. So imagining that more girls could arrive was pretty scary. And finally we proved by ourselves that it was not a bad way, or it was a good way to make it progress and to have much more girls, and it was place for every of them. That was cool.
So I just realized at this time period, this is also when you become the first woman ever to have a pro model twin tip. So how do you end up getting that if you didn't win any event? So no other girl had it, right? Like Sarah already went from Solomon. I think she was on vocal at this point and just switched over. Greta, I think, got one the year after you. But
Yep.
like, how does it work as becoming the first girl? And you came through a legacy of pro models, right? Because Candide had one at Dina Star, then each one of the Phils had one, and then you were the next one in that whole line. So how does that come about? How does a company say, can we put your name and face on a ski in a sport that doesn't even care about women that much?
Each time, it's not them, it's me. I call them at the end of the season, and I told them there is a more and more girls, and so we need to have twin tip skis in the shops to create the demand. And back at this time, my husband, Steph, the one you were talking about, that I was on Visio, he was a pro snowboarder, and he had his pro model. So I met the guy that was drawing his pro model, and I proposed him to come with me in an appointment at Dynastars. And we arrived there with some cool design, and we put them on the desk, and we started the discussion with the guy at Dynastar. And yeah, 2 hours after, they were like, okay, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make a girl's twin tip ski, and they were happy to figure out that we would be the first to do it. So it's always cool to be the first. So, and as you said, it was going in the way of all those pro model before. And so they decided that the next year it would be me and Dave Crichtons. So yeah, we made it.
Here's my next crazy question. I just realized you're only 22, and then like you said you're married. What age did you get married?
I was 20.
What age?
20.
Okay. Crazy.
Yeah.
How do you meet your husband? What, did you meet him on the road? Did you meet him in a train park?
I met him in a nightclub in Les Diablerets. Do you remember Les Diablerets in Switzerland?
Yeah, the B bar.
Yeah, B bar. There we go. We've
destroyed
been
it.
everywhere together, dude. Yeah, so I met him at the B bar, and yeah, and then we get married, and we've been skiing or snowboarding for 5 years. Like, it was our life.
So no one, did you know any other young people at that time? Because we weren't married, all the people you were hanging out with, right? And then
Yeah.
and so I'm just kind of thinking like I knew no one else. I mean, maybe Phil Rose became married about the same time, but then he disappeared out of my life once he became married, but you were still in the zone.
No, that's true. I was very young, but I don't know. It was cool. It was cool. He asked. I said yes. We made it, and then we've been skiing and enjoying life for 5 years. So until I shit on him. Yeah.
Oh shit, we'll get there. Um, so you're dominating, you got pro model, you're building women's skis, you're on the up and up from now, like say 2000 to 2006.
How
Is
much?
this like
How much money were you getting from the pro deal? Was that a big paycheck when you had a pro model ski at that time?
No, I was so glad and so happy that they would make it that I didn't take any more money. Um, Hey, do you want to see the ski? It's I've got it over there. You
Yeah,
want to
let's
see
see
it?
it.
I gave mine to Greta. I'm sorry.
I was just riding at Mount Hood yesterday and saw somebody with a ski that like an old school K2 ski with a little LED light in it, and when you're carving, it lights up.
Hell yeah, the
Oh
90s were
wow.
awesome.
Yeah, look at that.
Yep.
Wow.
It is 165.
Did they only make it in one size?
And 155 too.
Okay.
A bit smaller. So what was the question, Ethan? Sorry.
Well, I was wondering
Money.
about like what the money was like at the time, especially for like
Oh.
one of the first ladies to get a pro model. Like, how much were you getting paid at the time?
So I didn't get any more money than what I used to have in my contract, but I had a nice contract for the time, and I wasn't expecting more money. Because they would pay me correctly, and they would, as I said, they would pay for all my travels and for my part in the video, and so I was super happy to work with them, and I was happy enough to make history, kind of. So I didn't ask for any more money, and to be honest, I'm not sure they would have give it to me. I think they sold 2,000 pairs of those, so it's small still. If
Yeah.
it would
And then it's a moving billboard, right? So imagine this, like it's $150 product that they put your name and face on, and then your name and face is around the world promoting and marketing you. Is the dopest deal ever. You know, like, but my question is 2006, who are your sponsors?
So it's just before I quit. So I'd say Dyna, Spy, Oxbow.
And are you at if you add up all your contracts, is this your most you're ever making in your career?
Back at this time, Oxbow would have been the biggest contract I would have seen, and they would also make me a pro model, so that was cool.
So how much was Marie Martineau making as a woman skier? If you don't have to say, but just to put it in percent, because I wouldn't have a clue. I kind of knew how much Sarah made, but like how much do you think you made in 2006 with everything combined?
I'd say maybe 15,000 with Dinah and 15 or 20,000 with Oxbow, and a little something more, maybe 5 or 6,000 with Spy
And
and
what do you have with Dinastar?
Dinah.
Yeah.
50.
Oh, that's what you call Dinastar? Dinah?
Dinah, yeah,
Is that your abbreviation for Dynastar?
yeah.
Okay, I thought it was the weird like European goggles.
Okay, no, Dinah stuff.
Okay.
And then you can add all the prize money, because then I had a little prize money, and
And then did you still have podium incentives at the time in these contracts? Like if you
What?
podiumed, if you had a podium, you would get extra money from your sponsors. Did you
Yeah,
have any of this?
yeah. So of course, this and Ethan is gonna laugh, but we had also money for parution in the magazine. That's why I was organizing a photo shoot and stuff, because then my pictures were on the magazine, and every month I was going to the store, buying all the ski magazine, taking all the pages, and doing an invoice with a ski magazine, a quarter page, and then a full page on page 22, and I was doing my invoice.
So if you were friends with a photographer, you could really cash in on the magazine incentives.
Yeah.
Like if you just
Like
like if
imagine
if your roommate's a photographer, you're just like, oh yeah, we're shooting every day. We're gonna get a magazine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what we were doing in between the competition, or we would go on photo shoot and try to find a good spot, and so the photographer would be happy to sell their picture to the magazine, and us to make the invoice after that. Mm.
Epic.
Dude, the Phils banked. Like they were making people's salaries like in the early 2000s because of their covers. Covers, you're getting the most. You know,
Yeah.
and like so you have full structures of what you're getting paid for. And at this time you have like Powders running the shit all the time, free skier, all the other ones, then Japanese. Europe had so many magazines. So you could go through like 50 magazines every month.
Yeah.
And then if you were an organized kid, because no one had agents, so you're just you're a kid looking like being stoked that you were in the magazine. And when you actually saw yourself in the magazine, you knew you were getting paid.
So dope.
Yeah. So it's awesome.
So yeah, so when people are seeing these old magazines that I'm posting, they're like, that's a paycheck, that's a paycheck, that's a paycheck.
Exactly. Yeah. I still have them in some carton,
Yeah.
It's
So dope.
So we're at your epic point. So I think we talked about it, but I forgot. So it'd be easy to remember. Where did you, because to me, there's two Maries. There's the one before you disappear, who is like the steezy person as fuck. And then there's the one that came back who's like, I'm going to murder this shit. Because I only watched you from afar. I wasn't your friend when I was just a fan, right? It's like, no way you're doing half pipe again, fucking win. And so like what happened? Why did you crash bad? Did you hit your head too many times? What makes you go from the pinnacle of your sport, dedicating and creating for 7+ years and having a pro model jacket, pro model skis, and then all of a sudden you poof, disappear?
I think that back at this time, I didn't realize exactly what happened, but now I can tell that what happened is that I probably went through mental issues. I think I started to have a crisis, like humor crisis. I was afraid of taking the plane. I was afraid of moving to some places where I've been before a couple of times, but it was worse and worse and worse until a point where I had to lie to my sponsors. I had to lie to people that would invite me on some photo shoot or whenever, because I wasn't able anymore to make it. And I don't know the reason why or where it started, or it must
Did you
be.
do drugs?
No, but I used to smoke a lot of weed. Probably that didn't help, but then I didn't have to go through drugs, or I didn't even talk to anybody. I just quit skiing, which means quit the whole lifestyle that was going with.
Were
And I
any of
started,
these things that you struggled with before, or did they just come out of nowhere?
yeah, probably, yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, say when you flew to Utah 2004, did you have to convince yourself the airplane was okay? Or did all of a sudden all these struggles just come on out of nowhere?
It come on out of nowhere, but maybe obviously it must have some origins and things that are plus and plus and plus. Finally, I wasn't able to do anything anymore, but I don't really know. What I know is that when I started to ski again, it was something that it was a little music that still was here, like, okay, I'm gonna travel. Okay, I'm gonna be there, far away from my place. There's still something that I was able to handle because I was older, because I was safer, because I was the woman I was. But still, So I know that at one point I've been through a mental proceed.
Did you break up with skiing? Did you just disappear to your sponsors, or did you let them know that you were going to no longer participate?
Um, I made one email, a copy to each of them, and telling them, okay, if you're okay with that, I'm gonna quit skiing, and just so if we can stop my contract, and so we are clear, like I don't ask for anything, you don't ask for anything, and that's it. And so. But they all said okay. They didn't have really any choice. But
So no
nobody.
one wrote you back like, did you
Oh,
make it understand that that was kind of like, if I was to read your message, would I understand it's official? Or did anyone write back and be like, no, Marie, you can't go?
no, nobody did that. Maybe one of them just like write back like, "Are you sure that it's the good solution? Are you sure that you want to quit?" And so yeah, it's been fast. Huh? It was the end of April, and in June I was on the sea west France west coast, working in a restaurant serving pizzas.
And were you stoked? Like, did
Yeah,
it just take all the stress off when you quit?
exactly. Everything just disappeared in a few seconds. It's amazing.
Is this spring of 2007, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have a new head question because I think you're talking about traveling being like a difficult thing at the time. Could you guys like today traveling so easy? You have GPS at all times. You got translating apps. You can call your family back home at any time. Like, was the lack of technology making you lonely when you were on the road? And like, because you also are a French speaker as well, so you go to the English speaking world. No one speaks your primary language. It's much harder to get in communication with your family. It's much harder to get around. Like, were those issues adding on top of it?
Yeah, yeah, definitely, for sure. It's good. It's cool that you mention it. It was another a way of living, and when I was out of France, I was really far away in a way, far away from my family, from my friends, from everything that I really knew. So yeah, it definitely didn't help. And I remember like I had trouble with my phones sometimes, but from the beginning, from when I was 16, I was in the middle of nowhere in Colorado, and my phone shut up or switched off because I probably had too much. I've
Minutes
been
went over.
using it too much, and I was stuck in the middle of nowhere and trying to figure it out, and to find a solution to be able to reach my parents or my sister back.
Or your
And
husband. I
yes,
bugged out what I bugged out when you said earlier, when you're like, I called my husband and told him I was going somewhere for 3 weeks. And then I just like sit back and I'm like, could I ever call my wife and be like, I'm going somewhere for 3 weeks, and then I'll see you when I see you and not communicate with you? You know, it's just, I get it. Like, that would be a big stress. Like,
yeah,
to even leave a loved one and just say that. I get it. You were younger and didn't have children at the moment, but it's still a gnarly thing to just tell a loved one, see you when I see you.
yeah, exactly. No, but it's funny. I was a very weird person because in the same way, in the same at the same time, I was able to do this, and I was able to freak out because my phone switched off and I was stuck in the middle of nowhere, and it was kind of stressful. Even if I always find a way, I always find someone. It was always an happy end, but probably that years after years, it adds so many different situations where that by the end I was sick of this and I couldn't do it anymore, and my body would just tell me, you know.
And just so you know, too, still in 2007, it's not like she's rolling with girl crews. There's more girls that do this sport, but she's not like, hey, girls, let's get together and go work. You know, like you can do that now. Like you can do that anywhere in the world and go film some urban, go shoot at your train park, go ride a pipe together. Like that's a normal thing now, but still at this point, you're still in that world of maybe not as much understanding. Just let's get fucked up.
That's true. But so I quit.
Okay, so spring 2007, you disappear, you go make some pizzas, and you're all stoked. How long are you away from skiing?
7 years.
7. All the way to, wait, you didn't come back till 13, 14?
Yeah.
That was your first comeback year? Wow.
It was, December 2013. No, 2012.
Okay, I was like, you'd be so dope if you came back 2 months before the Olympics and then just went.
No, just 1 year before, and you have to because I had to make a World Cup to get points to be able to validate stuff and get my place. So I knew I had to make 1 year of a World Cup.
So when did you start to miss skiing again?
Never, Eric. The only reason why I came back is because the last thing I told Sarah was she passed by my place. I remember Melly Rose, my daughter, she was like 3 or 4 months. She passed by my place after winning the World Cup in La Plagne, and she said, "Hey, Marie, I had those discussion with those guys from IOC. We're gonna make half pipe skiing in the Olympic happen, and you have to come back." And it was like, "Sarah, I just had my baby. They cut my stomach from part to part to make it out." To make her out, I'm hosting a nightclub. I live from 10 in the morning to 5 in the morning. I have no life. There's no way I'm gonna ski again or whenever. And she's like, "Oh, you should think about it. It would be so cool. I'm sure you could do it. And imagine ski the Olympic." And that's it. And so I was like, "Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate it. And that's so nice from you. But that's not my life anymore. Thank you. Bye." And so she left. She was with Virginie, and she left. And so when Virg called me few years later, months or years later, and Virg called me and she's like, "Okay, Marie, that's a very bad news. Sarah had a big crash in the pipe and we don't know what's gonna happen," and blah blah blah. And so I spent those 10 days like you, everybody, in a terrible way, terrible mood. And when she finally died, something happened, and in my head, the only way I could survive this was, okay. I don't know. I remember like, wow, when is the last time I saw her? Oh, it's this time she passed by and she told me you should ski again. And after this, I couldn't take these sentences out of my brain. Like, you should ski again. And I felt like I had to do it. That's it. I had to do it. And I had to do it for her, for maybe just to be able to understand that I will never see her again. So I had to move, I had to create, I had to do something to deal with it. And so I've never missed skiing. That's true. I can't say anything else. I've never missed skiing. I just started a new story and decided to come back because I was gonna do what she will never be able to do.
What gave you the belief that you could come back? Like when you watch the competition level and you've been taking a break and you're like, weird, I love making pizzas and having babies. I can do that shit too. Like what gives you the like, I get it, the passion point of the friendship and everything, but now reality sets in. And now reality is big 22-foot pipe, probably the scariest element of our sport over slopestyle and big air, like half pipe's gnarly. And so I'm looking at it and like, I don't know, like, because it's different than it was when you left. You could
True.
still be Skyly, but I can also see if I was you in 2012, where like I could beat these chicks.
I didn't even know that the half pipe were bigger than what they were when I quit skiing. I didn't even know it. I called Virginie back again, like maybe a month after, and I said, okay, I'm gonna come back. And Virginie, she knows me so bad, and so she knows that I was not kidding. And
I'll
she's
put
like,
this date, just so everyone kind of knows right now at the beginning. This is probably February or March 2012.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, that's it. And she's like, okay, Marie, what can I do? I'm like, okay, maybe just tell me what should I do? And she's like, there is a European competition in Tignes and in La Plagne. Lucky you. Maybe you should just start to go to watch at it. As it's European tour, it's not the big half pipe. It's not the 22 feet. So maybe you can try to see how you feel in the half pipe. And I was like, how come like there's 22 feet half pipe? She's like, yeah, it's super pipe now. It's not the same as you used to ride. And I was like, okay. So I did what she said. I took my old skis and went to Tignes to do this first European competition again, and it was fun. But I don't. The only reason why it worked is because I had no idea of what I was expecting, of what I
Did
had.
you ski once from spring of 2007 to spring of 2012?
Yeah, I skied maybe 10 times.
Okay, not half pipe.
No, but no, there were no half pipe in my resort, and no, I was living another life, really.
Yeah. No, I just want to put it in perspective where
Mm.
we're less than 2 years out to the world's biggest stage. You just
She
took six.
told me, Virginie, she told me, now you have to spin both way. It's finish, yeah, the period where you were spinning left. Yeah, you have to spin both way, natural and unnatural. It's like, okay. So I went skiing and I was trying to do little 360 on the side of the slope on the right. I've never been spinning right, never ever. And it was so hard, and I was like totally lost, and to do a 360 on the side of the slope. But once again, it worked. It all worked out because even this, I didn't see that I was starting from zero. I was just like, okay, that looks really weird, but let's do it again and again and again. Yeah.
Okay, so you do pipe events in the springtime, kind of local. It's not World Cups, right? Because you can't just jump into World Cup after not skiing.
No, yeah, it's just those two European tour competition, and I won. I won the two actually. So
Shut the fuck up. So, like, when you do that, this has to be the most confident building thing that you go to sleep. Like, you're going to sleep with your kid, and you're like, Mom, you just won. You never said that. You just said Mommy won, and you're thinking Mommy won, and Mommy won twice. Like, what is your mental like at this? Is it easy? Like, are you like, I can do this? Or is it like, holy shit, that wasn't real, and I still got a big road?
no, I know that there's still a big road, and first of all is to sell the bar I am working on every day, but it just opened a little door and it says the fact that I won those two contests is like, okay, it could happen. I mean,
Did you think you were that good, or were these girls that shitty?
it was it was not the best rider, of course. It was European tour, but it was the one that were training hard to get on the World Cup.
Exactly.
So
They're people that dedicated their lifestyle to riding that style.
definitely, yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
most of them were from Switzerland. But yeah,
Was Virginie competing at this time?
no. She was on the World Cup and doing her own stuff. So
Yeah.
no. But I followed her skill. What she told me to do, I did it, and it was probably the best way. And also, the French Federation, as I won those two contests, allowed me to get an appointment to start talking about a potential way I would get into the 2014 Olympic process.
Wow. So
Yeah.
do you have any girl that you saw? So at 2012, I believe, Anise, is that her name?
Yes, Anaïs, yeah.
Yeah. So she was the best French half pipe skier at
Yeah.
the moment. Okay. So like, and then in your head, there's probably two spots, right, for French women.
Yeah.
Like, get a go. So it's like you're looking at it like, all right. Like, and then do they give you a World Cup spot, or how do you start the 12-13 season?
Yeah, they told me, okay, if you pay for everything, we can register you on the World Cup. Because I won they made a little French championship by the end of the season, and so I went and I win. Of course,
And
it
you
was
beat
not.
Anise.
No, she was not coming.
Okay.
Thank you. She was not coming. So I was the French championship with the French champion, which allowed me to be registered on the World Cup. But there were no money. So they told me, okay, if you pay for everything, you can get registered on the first World Cup in Copper Mountain, Colorado, beginning of December 2012. So I had to manage to sell my bar, my pub, find sponsors, and get enough money to project on a full World Cup season. And I had
What does
10.
your husband think about you changing your whole life and doing the focus again?
So it's not the same husband that the one you used to know.
So you have a new husband now going into this new adventure. So it's a whole new life journey that you're on.
Yeah, and this guy doesn't know at all. He doesn't know me at all, like as a pro skier. He just know the girl that used to sell pizzas.
So it's a refresh journey, fully in life. There you
Yeah,
go.
and I feel like I am always excusing myself. I'm always like, okay, can I do this? Or maybe I'm gonna do this. So I need to figure it out this way. Is it okay for you? Because I feel like I am forcing him to live a life he never signed for.
Yeah.
But we made it. We made it through, and so We sold the pub. I found a big company, big French company called Decathlon, that took
How do you sell yourself? Like when you're going back and you're like, I haven't skied forever. I know I'm gonna win this shit. Like
Yeah.
obviously you've proven yourself that you could sell yourself since the beginning of your career, telling all these stories. So like I'm curious now how an adult, more
would not
mature
have worked.
What's that?
It would not have worked if I would have come and said, "Okay, I'm gonna win the next season of World Cup." No. I knew that they needed to work on their image because they were not very famous. They are big brand for all kind of sports products, but they would need to work on their image in the ski industry. So I went to see them and I told them, okay, give me skis. I fly to Mammoth in May, and I'll ski your skis and I'll I'll give you feedback to make your skis improve. So they said, okay, that sounds good. They gave me skis. I went to Mammoth. I skied 2 weeks and I gave them back a lot of infos, a lot of what they should do to make the ski improve. And so we started a relation based on the product. And that's where I win because
Could you
that's
tell me the name of the company again?
Decathlon.
Okay. And this was the name that was on the ski that you skied on in the Olympics?
No, the skis were named Wedze.
Okay, that's what I remember.
Yeah, because Decathlon is the big brand doing lots of different sports products, and Wedze is under this big brand, the one that makes skis material.
So that's who you're discussing the product. You're talking about the ski and how it performs.
Yeah,
Who made their ski?
they made themselves.
No way. They
Yeah.
didn't have Atomic Factory, Dean Star, or Solomon, or Rosno.
No,
Okay.
and they were pretty good. I mean, for a brand that was not a ski brand, they were pretty good. And I told them, but we started this relation based on the product and how to improve the product. And I didn't know really back at this time that it was their main way of thinking, but it was it. So they discovered the Marie Martinod that could really help them to progress and make their brand bigger. And so they signed me. They signed me for 30,000 euros per year for 2 years until the Olympics, if I could make it. But it was perfect deal. So I was in Copper, December 2012, ready to do my World Cup season.
That's wicked. The way you can hustle and get a sponsor, taking years off and showing by finding a new angle rather than just trying to get a ski sponsor, right? Because you think about how much you could have beat yourself into the ground, being like, no one wants to sponsor me anymore. Because it would have been the easy way to go to Rosno, Dean Star, Solomon, Atomic, and have them all say no because they have established teams. So I'll big you up on that because there's so many times everyone says, oh, this doesn't work or no one cares. But there's just always another angle if you want to make it happen.
Yeah.
So you go into the season, you made it happen. Your fucking partner is on board. You got some money that's on board. So you got things that support and believe in you. All the things you need for a proper base to not come in with fucking crazy head games.
Yeah.
And then you have a fucking structure, right? You got Kevin, you got Xavier, you got the new coach. So all of a sudden you're involved with this guy. I forget his name. You might as well big him up because he's made that French team happen.
Greg.
Yeah. So this man. So all of a sudden you have this structure that wasn't there when you left the sport. Does that make you fucking even more relaxed? Because everyone wants you. I'm assuming everyone wants you to win there. Even little girl on your team, and he's I'm sure she's like, no way, this is so fun to ride with you. I don't think you'd be but maybe girls are girls. Am I wrong?
The thing is that all the girls in the ski industry in 2012, they used to know me as this girl in level 1 production. They have no idea about who I can be as a competitor and as a skier that really train for a special goal. But Anaïs knows. She knows me better than the others. And so, yeah, after the team meeting, there is probably some discussion in between the girls about what do you think of Marie Martineau coming back? There is a little I don't know, there's a little something, and so they talk about it. And I remember Anna is coming back to me the next morning and said, oh, we've been talking about you. And they were like, who is this girl coming from nowhere? And I told them, you should be careful. And so that's funny. I wonder.
Because I think from my outside perspective, this was such a lazy time period in women's skiing. right? That's why Kelly Silderu was able to come up at age 9 years old and be like, "What are you girls doing?" Like, it was so special, 2012. Like, because all of a sudden these sleepers, Kaya was on her own level. So Kaya, no one was even competing against Kaya at the point. She won everything for 4 straight years. Then there was this level that was below. And then in women's pipe skiing, like, Sarah was the only one that pushed herself. Every event she wanted to beat herself because she was the only one that she could lose to. So when she was gone, it was like even more stagnant. And I'm a super fan of pipe. So me and
Yeah.
Tanner, we watched every X Games, and we'd just be like, "How are they still straight airing? How are they still alley ooping?" So you could watch podium runs in 2011 of girls doing straight airs and alley oops.
Yeah, and judges would push maybe the spinning, the spin to win, some spinning girl that would not work, that would not choose at all to work on their grabs and to try to make it nice to look. So yeah, I remember that it was not really my kind of style, but so I did my ski and what I used to know, and Greg, so the coach you were talking about, he was the guy that teach me my first backflip, the one we were talking at the beginning of
Okay.
our meeting. It was this guy, so it was the guy that gave me all my confidence when I was young, and this is something, you know. So yeah, I followed um, his coaching, and I tried to do my best, and things worked pretty much okay until I crashed in Copper in maybe February, no, January, just before X Games.
So
And
how'd you do your first World Cup when you came back in December? How'd you end up?
yeah, I won the qualification. So it was like, oh my God, no way, I did it. I won the qualis. But I didn't know that the girls had a run for qualis and a run for finals with much more tricks. So finally, I get maybe 8 or 10s. But still, I was in final, which was exactly what I needed to do if I wanted to qualify for the Olympics. The French team, the French Federation would have tell me, okay, if you're able to be in finals all winter long, it will be enough for us. It will be okay. You will have your tickets for the Olympics.
So in your head, you qualified for the Olympics when you made finals your first World Cup.
No, I had to do it again for all the season.
Hmm.
I really qualified, and like they called me and they said, "Okay, you're in." After winning X Games in teen in March.
Dope spot to win. Was that your first victory on a big platform?
It was my first victory at X Games. First of all.
Was it your first, like, looking back, was it your first big win of your whole career?
Um, yeah, if I don't talk about winning US Open or winning the World Cup season, yes.
No, those two things count. But to come back and win an X Games is next level.
Yeah, that was amazing.
In France, because there was no X Games in France when you left.
How
Yeah.
old were you?
And I was, so it's 2013. I'm 29.
Nice.
How many babies do you have at this time?
Just Melly Rose, and she is maybe. Alors attends, she's 4.
So your biggest victory in France at X Games and having a baby, and your husband and baby were there, I'm guessing.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it different?
The whole family, and it's just 1 year after I decided to come back. So it's been so fast, and it's not been easy. It's been super fast, but super hard still. But at one point you could just forget that it's been hard because it's been so fast.
So you made it sound like a fairy tale, right? You're like, "Hey, husband, I'm going to do this," and then you go do it, and you're like, "Whew!" Everything sounded perfect in the last 25 minutes. Like, so what was a struggle what were your biggest struggles as a 29-year-old with a partner and a baby coming back to a sport from 7 years? Like, did you have physical troubles? Because
Yeah, physical
what
trouble.
did you do for 7 years? Were you working out on the beach? How did you stay physically fit to do what
But I didn't stay physically fit. So what I didn't tell you is that on this whole year, I've been working physio so hard to come back to an athletic body that can handle some very bad crash in the half pipe. What I didn't tell you is that in January I crashed learning a nine. I crashed in copper and had a very bad concussion, and I've been dizzy the rest of the season from January to X Games in March. I was like totally dizzy, like I couldn't. I I was seeing twice, like. Uh, my brain was not working correctly at all.
when you get a major concussion as a mother? Like, is it different?
No, for some reason I was on a I was on a
In the
wave.
fucking zone.
Yeah, so no, I just thought it was part of the game, and I tried to deal with it, and I never. It's crazy because I just lost one of my best fellow girl in a half pipe. I crashed really badly, so I'm in a coma for like maybe 30 seconds or 1 minute, and then I don't remember shit for 2 days, and then I have this um, loss
Vertigo.
of vertical. Thank you, and but I've never been thinking, oh, it's dangerous, or oh, what am I doing if something really bad happened to my daughter? What am I
Yeah.
doing to my daughter if something really bad happened? It's crazy when I think about it. I'm like, okay, I was totally unconscious. I don't know.
I think when you're at that point, you're surrounded by love because obviously your partner believed in you, and then you believe in yourself. So you know you're making a right decision for whatever you do. So consequences only comes from a right decision, right? So I mean, like when I look at it in perspective, 10 years later, 11 years later, it's like that's why you can do it. It's not a bad idea. It's just like, hey, you're focused, and people support what your focus is.
Hmm.
A lot different than if people question it. Then you question it.
Yeah, we made it as a
Heck yeah.
team. We made it.
Marie, I need to, I have so many awesome questions about the season, but I need to take my 2 hour and 45 minute pee or 1 hour. This is awesome. Please don't leave us. We only have another hour and 15, but I got to pee. Give me 5 minutes, not even 30 seconds.
Right back.
Have fun.
Marie, when you came back, what were tricks that you learned 2012, 13 that you never did in your whole life before? So just to say, this is a 29-year-old person that hasn't skied the sport for 7 years, and I'm imagining that you have to learn new shit.
Yeah. Two things. First, so Greg told me, okay, you want to spin nine, otherwise there is no chance you can do any podium or whatever you are dreaming to do. So you have to learn to spin nines, which is something very new for you because your skis are gonna pass the coping twice, and it's pretty scary. And you have to learn to spin right.
You never did a nine previous in your career.
No, no,
Awesome.
never. No. Yeah, so that's what I have been working on, the nine and that five.
So those are the two tricks that you did that season that you never did before.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you got, Ethan? You've been quiet. You've heard a lot.
No, the story is just so epic. So, okay, so you had never spun a nine before, and you had never spun right, and your coach is telling you, okay, you have to do both of those things in the biggest half pipe you've ever been in.
Yeah, when you say that, yeah, that's it exactly.
That's so wicked. So, what did you do to train? Because I'm sure there was at that point there was probably new. Were you doing water ramps, or did you have access to an airbag for the first time? Like, how did you learn these things?
Yeah, in the summertime, I've been doing water ramp a lot, for a lot, maybe 3 or 4 weeks. By myself with Greg. He wanted me to learn to spin like much more cork because back at this time, back when I was younger, we would not cork that much, So it was normal spin, like flat, like normal spin, and or rodeo or missy or even or flat spin, but we would not cork that much, even less in the half pipe. So, and he thought it was easier for me to learn to cork, but I've never been able to do it. So I kept even my 10, like 2 or 3 years later, I would do like straight 10,
With a grab?
with a grab. Tail.
Which grab?
Yeah, tail.
Tail? Okay, sick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we've done it with a few people. You want to do like the Olympic season, the lead up, and then the.
Well, I want to do. We've never asked yet if we're getting there. So,
Yeah.
you win X Games. Do you know when you win, it's an automatic Olympic spot? Like, is it? You don't have to really wait for that call because you hit the criteria.
No, but and because when I win, it's just so many, like my head is blowing, and there is so many people, and this contest is huge in the valley, like X Games in France. It's huge, and it's like the fourth, maybe the third or fourth time. Well, I mean, it's the contest where you can come and see Sean White riding the pipe. So
Yes.
for French people, it's huge, and to be the winner, I wasn't even sure to make them because the last spot, Schuster would never give me this fucking last spot, and so I had to fight with another super cool girl, American girl, on a small contest the week before X Game, to know if it was her or me that would have this last spot. That was terrible. And so, but
So you didn't
I
even know you had a spot for Euro X Games right before
yeah, so
Euro.
that's it. I had the spot 4 days before riding the X. Yeah. So coming from nowhere, So when I won, it's just boom. I know it's the last contest of the season, so it's the end of the story for this season and for what I could do. And as I told you, my head is still fucked up, so it's a mess. It's a mess.
So when
But
do you get the call or when do you get the email?
um, by the end of this day, so the contest is at night, and then we go to the restaurant, and we go in nightclub, and one guy of the French Federation come to see me, and he's like, hey, you know that on top of everything, you'll be riding the Olympic Games. And I'm like, oh, are you serious? I mean, you're drunk. Obviously I am
And you're
here.
not drunk. You're sober.
Yeah,
Around
drunk.
every drunk person.
We are all drunk, but I'm like, is it like something you tell me just to be interesting, or what the fuck? And he's like, no, it's for sure. I mean, Mary,
So you didn't
you
really
are
believe
now
him totally.
you are now one. How did you say that? Now you are one of the potential medalists for Olympic Games. I mean, your status just changed from one point to a total different point. You're gonna be well treated by the French Federation. You're gonna be flying in business class. You are a
He's saying
potential.
all this?
Yeah, he said you are a potential medalist. It's not okay. Maybe you will go. It's now we're gonna take care of you because we need your medal.
Yeah. Well, that's got to be the wildest conversation that you never had in your whole life previous of someone loving you because you are of value to the country, right?
Yeah,
That was never something that ever even existed in your life previous
Oh.
or had an opportunity. And then it's got to be so wild in a club at night.
Yeah.
Normally it used to be just people spilling on you, being like, fuck yeah, we skiing tomorrow. Now the guy's like, you represent the country and we believe in you.
Exactly. But in
That's
another
so
way,
cool, Marie.
I really had to just like
So you
say
when
myself.
you wake up in the morning, are you like, hey, that guy really said this? Or are you still waiting for an email of some kind or a
No,
coach
no,
call?
I know that he told me the truth, and I believed in him, and he was the guy that 1 year before told me, okay, we're gonna try to register you at the first World Cup, and he made it. So I mean, everything he said to me, he made it. So I was
But
in total trust. So yeah, I was like, okay, the goal is achieved. I will go to the Olympics, so I will make it for Sarah, and I was very very happy on the next morning.
do
But
you sleep? Like you just won your first X Games and you just found out you're going to the Olympics and you're with your husband and child. Like, do you even like sleep after you go back? Do you have to like get so drunk that you're like, all right, we're
yeah,
at 6 in the morning?
did. At one point, I couldn't do anything else but sleep, because I was totally drunk. But in the next morning, I was. It's funny because I didn't really enjoy more than 6 or 7 hours the fact that I would go to the Olympics because I switched on the mode. I'm gonna go to the Olympic and I'm gonna win the Olympic. I don't know why. For some reason, uh, as I just won X game in front of all the girls, they were all here and they were like end of season. They were all skiing their best, and so it was like the best level of ski half pipe at this time. So now the goal was different. It switched, and I was like, okay, now I'm gonna
Champion mentality.
win. So, and I've been working the whole and from March to February next year, the year after, on with this new goal.
So March through December, what's fun about a half pipe life is you pretty much have over half a year to think about your goals. And then so now you're 30. It's fucking end of March. You're woo, but not really. You have a goal, but you don't participate in anything to win your goal other than physical fitness until
Yeah.
the first December World Cup. So do you ever have is your brain good? Everything's good for this whole 6 months. Family's good, body's good. If something hurts, you just work it out because the goal's goal. Or do you have any
About
like because of so much time to think other shit, bad shit?
Yeah, as far as I can remember, it was cool. It was cool. I was training hard and trying to be. I had some back trouble, so I really had to focus on the way I was working and to be sure I was doing enough to be the strongest person I could be, but not too much because as soon as I was doing too much, I was suffering. Um, but I felt like my whole team would go in the same way. The physio, all the coaches, the guys I was skiing with, everybody was just like on the way. It's the road to Sochi. It was the road to Sochi. So everybody was in the road to Sochi, and I was too. Yes.
As a 30-year-old person, do you have like because I think the younger people probably had only the idea that I have to win. Like, and so they probably struggled more with it on 6 months off. But what's your like life balance like? Do you do any other jobs in the summer before the Olympic season? Do you have more time to just hang out with your family? Or are you fully like, okay, I'm at this training camp, I'll see you in a week again, family, or a month? Or how does like what's your balance as a adult with a family?
It was great because I had never had that much time to take care of my daughter. Because when you are working like a normal person all day long, you don't see your children. You see them in the morning and the evening, and for me it was different. I would put Mary was at school, go to my physical whenever I had to do, and come back to pick up her for midday, and then get her back to school, go back to do some other exercise I had to do, and it was very it was so different of what I always do as a pro skier when I was younger. So different, and in
Yes.
another way, it's exactly what I needed to do because I was close to 30 years old and I was not the same person, and so everything was very.
What I think is fun about your scenario is the coolest thing about skiing is, right? Like, say, when you go skiing, Ethan, and you go to Mount Hood today and you get off the chairlift and you ski down, you're not going to think about anything else in life. There's no way there's another thought. You're not thinking about the podcast on the turns, whatever. And same thing with a child. When you're around your child, there's no way you can have other thoughts because you're having to run after them. So a child can turn some of these ski thoughts off because I can remember every day of my life up until the day my first child was born. But then after my child was born, it's like their attention grabbed me so much, I forgot certain days of my life what I accomplished on that day. So it's pretty fun to see because I think it was probably actually a great benefit to you to have a child going into this shit at age 30 instead of a 30-year-old that was going through an individual, like, how do I come back to a sport? You know, because then they're just proving up for themselves, or I don't know. It's interesting. It's fun to hear your story because I don't think anyone like it's fun. Like Cassie Sharp, I think, won this year, and she's got a kid. And so I was thinking about that, and I was like, man, that's got to be dope to have your first win with a kid.
Yeah, it's cool because you as you said the oh, what's the word in English? When you are only focused on yourself and the way of winning, you're not the best person. You're not the best version of the person you are. But as soon as there is a lot of different other thing next to your skiing occupation, then when you are skiing, it's a special time where you are not with your kids. So you really want to do everything you can to be sure that it's gonna be worth it. It's gonna worth it. That's funny. I would never have been this person before. Really, never. I
It's
was
impossible.
you know me. You know how I was. I was just here to have fun, and the more fun I had, the best it was. This was a total different approach of skiing.
Yeah, had to be fun because it's even like it was fun, like just from my outside. This is the style of Marie from pre leaving to the new style. Like I watched all your half pipe runs today for fun. Like when you came back, and I was like, man, this style is it's a new, interesting, very French. I felt like you could sew those ski outfits to French ski instructors, but your style from the outside perspective wasn't old
Yeah.
school, but it was fun to watch. Every run you had knee patches. I thought you could do mogul runs, but you were in the pipe.
But the thing is that it was new goals every year, because I went to the Olympic and finally get the podium, but I thought it was it. I would have reached the goal, and so I even more than I first wanted. So I thought I would quit after this Olympic, and
So
finally,
Marie, we want to do. I'm going to let Ethan take over because we talked to so many people with their first Olympic stories, from
yeah.
Johnny Mosley to Alex Hall to just everyone. So I think, especially with you, I'd love, Ethan, for you to take this over and kind of go through the basic Olympic story, the questions, because we learned how she qualified, but now just like, I don't know, because like it's very interesting how everyone's first Olympics affects their whole career and trajectory. So Ethan, it's yours.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. We got the base work too. Like in the off season, you could just truly be in the off season. When did the French team start putting pressure on you that year, where it was like, okay, it's go time now, where we're locking in and like everything is towards this mission of you winning?
But the thing is that I could see around me, and at least I could see how it was working for the American people, for example, which were a lot of them for just 4 places, And for me in France, I really just had to do my best, but to get the spot. But it was no other girls except Anaïs that could take a spot, and it was still two spot left, you know. So I was feeling like I was pretty lucky to be able to reach a spot without having to fight with any other French girl finally. So the only pressure I had was the one I wanted to put on myself finally, you know.
So when does that Olympic cycle start? Like for that season, so you start competing in like November. Is that the first competition of the year, or because your spot is basically locked in, are you not really competing leading up to the Olympics?
No, we decided that I would do all the World Cup like a normal season. So the season started again in December, beginning of December in Copper. I'm not sure what I did. I'm not sure. Maybe I won this contest actually.
Because this would be your first World Cup win if you won.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but
You're not sure.
that's what happened probably. And then we went to X Game. I get third at X Game, but it was cool because as far as I can remember, I had a new run and I could put it down at X Games. So it was not perfect, and we knew that with doing it not perfect, I was third. That means that I could potentially, if I was skiing perfectly at the Olympics, do something well. So it was pretty cool. And
One
then
other thing that's pretty cool, now you're in Aspen 2014, podiuming. The last time you were in Aspen on a podium was what year?
2004 maybe.
Yeah, I just want to big you up on that.
10 years later.
So
Yeah.
sick. Did any of the girls give you a hard time? Like I know that like with Gepper entering the pipe, for example, some of the pipe guys are like, "Oh, look, this guy just hopping in, and now all of a sudden he's winning stuff." Like, did any of the girls, was there like some competitiveness amongst them where they're like, "Who is this girl that she's been gone for 10 years, and now all of a sudden she's on the podium every competition?"
It's got to make them feel like they suck.
Yeah, like was there anybody being rude to you or anything behind the scenes?
Not the girl, not the riders, but I remember a journalist asking me after winning X Game in France, and I hated this question. And he was like, "Okay, Marie, you just won X Game, European X Game after 7 years out. Do you think it's because you are an excellent skier, or because all those girls are shitty?" And what can you answer to this horrible question? Like I was,
I apologize. That was my opinion too right now.
but I would have known this.
I know it's rude to say on your highest moment, and you're
Yeah,
because
no,
your
yeah.
whole life is building girls up. It was never like to destroy them, right? Your whole life was bringing girls together. So it's the worst question for you.
So yeah, I don't remember exactly how I could like trick this answer, but that's a moment where I was feeling bad because I was like, okay, what can you answer this? That's nonsense. But the girls, they were cool. They've always been cool, and after the Olympics, I really, as I knew I would ski again for 4 years and stay in this community. I felt like I was getting back at my top space, top spot, like the girl I was before. I have proved enough to be able to give advice or to be this girl at top of the pipe and welcome the newcomers. Or I really made a great job to welcome all the other girls and to be sure that everybody would keep on being this kind of person, welcoming, and competition is a thing and it's in the pipe, but to be sure everybody is taking care of each other from a country to another, and I guess we made it.
You did. So let's talk Olympics.
Yeah.
You get to go to Sochi. And
Yeah.
now you're at this. So now you're at the first ever Olympic Games. You're 14, 15 years into the sport. You had to come back. And so to me, I find this pretty interesting. Like, it was fun because when Henrik did it, like, he's pretty young. He didn't go through what you did. You know, like, he came in later. All the guys I talked to that, like, have gone to Sochi, it's not like what you did. You know, that's why I'm sitting on, like, at home watching you. I'm just like, no fucking way this girl's doing this. This girl that I saw do the rodeo in 2000 is at the Olympics 2014. So when you go there, like, how do you do in qualification run your first time? Because it was bad weather, correct? If I remember.
It was not really cool weather, not at worst, not as bad as the guy, but it was not very extraordinary. But which would help me because I am this European good skier. Sorry, I hate to say that, but uh, as it was tough condition, I was able to keep on a certain level. And some girls, as soon as it was not perfectly shaped and or perfect weather or perfect, they
Point
would
being is Marie understood transition, so she could actually start at a height and maintain it, or go bigger if needed. Where the
Yeah.
average person would start big and then continue smaller until the end, and then maybe their last hit could be bigger because they finally carved properly. So that was
and
the
it's
difference.
because when we were young, the pipe were shaped with the shovels, you know. So it was, if you see the first video of us in 2000, back in 2000, the pipe it was a Second World War in the pipe. So in Sochi, the pipe was shitty, and the conditions were really bad. But it didn't give me any trouble because I used to have to deal with those tough conditions. And for some girls, it's been terrible because it was the climax of their riding, and the pipe would not give them as much solution as they would have loved to, and so they would just freak out. And on my side, I was dealing with it.
This is crazy, the mental that you have over everyone, right? Like, everyone's thinking it's their pinnacle of their career. You're like thinking it's like extra, like frosting on top of frosting on top of frosting. Like, I'm just trying to think, if I was a coach, like, the mental game is the hardest part for any rider. And if I got to deal with you, it's like, it's such an easy thing where you're like, oh man, everyone sees the problems right now. There's always a fucking problem. It's a fun thing when you get older.
It's probably the way I have been raised, you know.
Yeah.
But so I win the qualification. I win the qualification in between the qualis and the finals for 1 hour, because we have a break of 1 hour. I am the Olympic champion as soon as I can do it again in final, which will not happen. Well, the funny thing is that we were all on the same stage because none of us had ever done the Olympic game before, which was really cool. So, you know, nobody had any experience more than you. So we were all on the same way. And in the morning, we all wake up and see each other at the restaurants where we have breakfast, and there is a tension, something special in the air, and we are all like, okay, how are you? Not that much, not that well. How are you? But not that well neither. There is something very, very special happening today. but it was the same for all of us, which was cool, I think.
So what happened in finals?
And in final, what's her name? Maddie Bowman in front of me because I start the last. So she was second at the qualies, and she used to win all the World Cup. Like she was the winner. And so she does her first run and she fucked up totally her first trick, a straight air or something, but she like opened the window for 2 seconds in the air, and so I think she's not gonna score. But then she does some tricks, and the judges scores her very well. Like she's got a very nice score, and so I shouldn't think of it. But of course, I can hear her score, and I'm like, okay, if they give her that many points, even if she screw her first straight air, I will never win. So you were talking about mental abilities. At this time, I should just have stay focused on myself and do my run. But as I saw her doing shit and taking maybe 87 points or something, I was like, oh, okay, what can I do? This is never happening. So I did a pretty good run and get second, and I stayed second.
Not bad.
Were you stoked, or were you bummed that you didn't get the gold?
I was stoked. I was stoked because I've always been remembering from where I was coming from, and we've been talking of it. I was coming from nowhere. So I was very happy, and but it took me time to realize, because I was in such a mental game that put me on a way of being focused. I've been working on this, so I was very, very focused on what I had to do. And I mean, the competition was over, but if someone would have come and say, "Oh, we are sorry, we have to do another run because we are not sure," 20 minutes after the end of it, I was ready to go again. You know, I couldn't get out of this focus mental game I put myself.
So it
And
was fun. Skiing was
but
fun.
you know this, well, yes, but you know this kind of image you have of runners at the Olympics that pass the line and win and like fall in crying, or grab people they love, like crying like, oh, I did it. And I thought maybe this would happen to me, and it didn't happen at all, because I was focused. I was on my way to the Olympic, and I was on the road to Sochi still, and I couldn't get out of the road to Sochi. So it took me 2 or 3 hours to realize what really happened, that I was an Olympic podium, kind of.
Was that did Kevin podium as well?
Yeah, 3 days before he gets third.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that you had 2 French medals in freestyle and free skiing,
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
So that's a pretty big deal. Like as far as a country coming back with 2 medals from the first ever.
Yes, it was cool. It was nice, and yeah, we've been through all this media process, and it was really awesome.
Is Kevin from your same town?
Yes.
So do you guys get a parade with fire trucks?
What?
Do you get a parade like where people celebrate you in
Ah,
town and like you drive?
yeah, we made that back in France, maybe 2 or 3 weeks after. Yeah.
Awesome. We got Ethan.
No, it's just so epic. Like this is like the big crescendo of the whole comeback. Like you're on the podium at the first ever Olympics. Like it's just incredible.
Doesn't sound like a crescendo to me. Sounds
Yeah.
like she's lost on the upward search.
You think so?
Oh yeah, like she's still in the zone. Why didn't she retire? Why is she back now? what motivates you when like you're back and your best friend said go to the Olympics and then you went to the Olympics and then you medaled. Now it's got to be like mission complete in the journal book. But then you say, "What? Who am I? Why do I exist?"
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like, this is my funnest question. Like, after you accomplish the mission, because it wasn't your dream, it was Sarah's dream. Sarah brought you there. She knew your abilities. She knew maybe, like, as a friend, like, you have a skill set. Why not use it? Go scare yourself every day. And so then, like, now you do all that shit. And so, like, what? Like, what? Is it a
And
up?
then
Is it a
afterwards,
high? Is it a low? What is it now?
it is a special moment. I still the Olympics. It's very strict. You know, there is process, different process, and you have to follow the process. You don't own yourself. You know, it's terrifying. It's crazy. And so we make the doping control stuff. We make the media stuff. We make the podium stuff twice because there is the flower podium, and then the day after there is the medal podium. In between there is the night in the nightclub with all those girls that you can pay if you want to have sex, and I mean it was crazy, and everything calms down, and I have this message from Sarah Burke's coach, Canadian
Trying
coach,
to
Trennan, and he says, Mary, can I see you? I need to see you. Can we meet? You know, we all live in the same Olympic village. And he says, oh, can I see you? I need to give you something. I'm like, okay, sure. So we meet. And what he wants to give me is the rest of Sarah's ashes. And so he's here, like I will see him all the rest of my life. He's seated with a little wood box, this long, and he's waiting for me. And I arrive, and I have no idea that what he's gonna do. And he's like, "Okay, this is Sarah Ashes. Whoa." So I'm like, okay, yeah. And he's like, I want you to have them. We've been spreading them pretty much all around the place for the last year. And everywhere we've been, we knew she would love, or we knew we had fun with her at this place. We spread a little. And I think that for what is left, you should go back in France with it. I heard you are organizing a big contest, a quarter pipe contest for girls in Tignes, and she'd love this place. Are you okay to take it and spread it over there in Tignes when you'll be back? And it was like, oh my God, of course, yes, I will, but that's huge. And are you sure? And you know, it's so many people that was close to Sarah, and I felt so honored that he decided to give it to me. He probably have been talking of that with her parents and her friends, and so I was very. I didn't know I could live that close to this particular moment of winning an Olympic medal. Another so um, um,
big
how do you
moment.
a big moment, like with so many feelings, you know, and but it happens, and so of course I thank him, and I took the rest of ashes. I went to buy a very nice little wood box, Russian box with golden stuff, very nice. I put the rest of the ashes, closed the box, and the next day I took the plane back in France. And I remember I took a picture. I was sitting on the business class plane, and I had my medal on the left side and Sarah's ashes in the nice box on the right side, and I was I was flying in the flight. I was out of my body. I was living something really, and I couldn't tell if I was more happy to bring back Sarah with me or to bring back the medal that she wanted me to have, or it. And at this time, I felt like I was exactly where I had to be at the time I had to be, and it doesn't happen that many in your life. I was sure I was exactly the person I had to be. That was a fucking great feeling.
That's wicked.
That's so
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah.
Wicked story.
But thanks to Tren, and thanks for making this happen. I was so not expecting this.
Was that the first time you've ever? Because like you've owned up until that point in your journey, you had owned businesses, and you had pushed yourself in different ways. Was that the first time or the biggest time where you set out on a goal and then just completely accomplish what you set out to do? Because like that will completely change your perspective of what's possible. Like you came back to skiing and then immediately like boom, Olympic medal, and so after that it's like okay, anything's possible.
Yeah, exactly. Anything's possible, and it fits me, and I take it always, and wherever I go, I take it with me, and I try to push people to think this way, because it's the only way we should live. Like everything's possible, and even more, like you probably project something, but it's something bigger that can happen, or it's something another something, another goal that will arrive. It's possibilities are.
Yeah. Ibrook, I feel like that's something you're good at. You're like, oh, okay, we're doing this thing. Let's make it doper. Let's make it bigger. Like,
I just finished a book called The Power of Intention, and it's fucking the most epic book I ever read. But it's exactly that. Like when you just like have that intention to just do it, you just do it, right? Like that's why we do this podcast. There's no reason.
yeah,
But to me, I'm like, there is a reason. Marie's this legend. No one knows who she is. If I went to every kid in a train park in North America and asked them all, 99% wouldn't know who she is. That's fucked up. So we have a privilege through the people that listen to Two Planker podcast to teach people who Marie is, because every girl who's going to be skiing at the Olympics next year has a big deal to thank her.
oh, look, we have a guest.
Hello. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Salut.
Sally, the 4 years old Sochi girl, which is 15 now.
Oh, wow.
Dude.
It's that same age I meet Marie. So that's what Marie looked like when I met her.
Yeah, exactly. Il dit que tu as l'âge que j'avais quand on s'est connus.
Ah ouais?
Bah ouais, c'est exactement ça.
Stylé.
Et je skiais sur ces skis-là, voilà.
Trop stylé.
Ouais,
Les maris des neiges.
Les
Tu
maris.
les as mis là pour faire un petit fond.
Je leur ai montré, non, je sais apporter. What's the deal?
Tu manges un
Est-ce
jour?
que je mange avec vous?
Bah non, on a mangé déjà.
Ok. Ouais, mais je vais manger après.
Ok.
Good.
Ok, pour ça au deal.
Asking for dinner, but I told
Classic.
come later.
What am I supposed to eat? But there's no food in the house.
She's saying, Mom, hurry up.
She's like, do you want us to let you something?
Oh, that's very sweet of them. So the QP excuse me, the QP contest, was that something you had done before the Olympics, or that was after the Olympics?
The QP? What's the Q?
The quarter pipe.
Oh, sorry. No, I do. So, as I love to create stuff, I proposed the teen resort to build it and it was supposed to happen 2.5 weeks after the Olympics. So it was very cool to come back with the medal, and so all the media excitement around it, because it make it bigger, of course. And I had invited pretty much all the girls that would have competed at the Olympics. So it was very it was the best communication you could have. Like, hey, let's come to see a big contest, big quarter pipe contest with all the best girl skier that just come back from the Olympic, the first Olympic in this discipline, and so it was very cool. And just after, right after.
I
No,
think
it's such a dope concept. Like
So
if it
sick.
still went on, because like what outlet do transition half pipe girls have, right? So if you
Yeah.
build a quarter pipe, it's kind of like their big air alternate. So you have
Yeah.
access to all these names that were just made big in all their like I think it's awesome as an event creator. Like it'd be so fun if you just did that as a every 4 year event where you just invited every Olympic pipe skier to come to your home mountain for a quarter pipe.
That's an idea. That's cool.
Yeah. Because think about it, that's the only time those girls ever have shine. Once every
Yeah.
4 years. And then if they can be and they're relevant for 2 weeks after the games. So if you can say, hey, fly from the games to France, and then now that you're hot from your country, let's give them content that you do other shit and you're dope too. And then
Yeah.
you get a show of why you're dope, not outside of fists. Because I talk about, like, I see Mammoth has the World Quarter Pipe Championships for snowboarding for like 20 years now. And they do it the first week of May. And it's the dopest event you've ever seen.
it's so
And
sick.
skiing does not have a quarter pipe event since like Japan. And so like 20 some years ago. So like if you did that for girls, then you're no men have a quarter pipe. Then you're unique on your own too. Go
That's
do it, Marie.
I'll think of it. My life is pretty full right now.
So
Awesome.
where did things go from there? Because you accomplish your Olympic dream, but then you also go to the 2018 Olympics. So like what's the thinking there? Because you already kept your word with Sarah. So at this point now you're skiing for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. That's where we go. After that, I was just skiing for myself, and I really had pleasure on skis, pleasure in the half pipe. I knew I still had some new tricks I wanted to try and to push the level and to do. To do something cool for the ski industry until I really couldn't do it anymore. So, for some reason, project myself for in like the 4 year further until the 2018. It was looking good for my sponsors, for my family, for me. I thought that it was a good new goal, achievable, and I did it because I wanted to have fun. This would have been so fast since the period I decided to come back to this medal in 2014, that now I really wanted to take it for what it is, enjoying myself season after season, appreciating to be invited at X Games without having to fight for my spot. Just like I was back at my best level. I was back on top of the girls community, and I wanted to enjoy for a bit.
At this
What
point
was the craziest thing that you got out of being an Olympic medalist in France? Like, did you get any like huge sponsorship deals? Did you get brought to meet a king of France? Like,
The king-
what?
We cut the head of kings in France.
Oh, I get it. I'm just showing exaggerations because I don't know what you get from a country, right? And I'm imagining you get experiences or offered experiences or financial benefits that have never been on the table before
Yeah.
by being an Olympic medalist.
Yeah, that's true. I had a nice prize money coming directly from the States, the States of France, which was 20,000. I had to meet the French president with my entire family. We went to the White House, kind of the French White House. So that was some days after my dad realized what I had to do and what I'd done at the QP contest in teen, where I told you, he was like, okay, now I understand what you've been through and what you wanted to do and what was the goal, the final goal.
How so obviously you brought it up twice now. And like
Yeah,
how big was that for you? Because
that
my
was
parents, the only thing that matters for their opinion. So like is it big after doing something for 15 years for your dad to get it? Or do you like get all pissed and be like, you finally just fucking realized it, Dad?
No,
Like how
I
does
was
it work?
very happy. I was very, very happy. He had my daughter on the shoulder, and he was telling me that he loves me for the first time of his life, probably. Even if I probably knew he loved me, but he was finally saying it. You know, like I am proud of yourself. I am proud of what you've done. And so it happened the second time because he went to the White House, so he had to shake the hand of the French president, and there were no way he could have done this in his life because of what he would have done himself.
You made your dad shake the
That's,
French president's hand because of doing tricks on your skis.
that's it. Can you believe it? I mean, the story is just when you've been living it in from the inside, it's just amazing, amazing.
That's so sick.
That, that, that was fun. That was fun.
What was your biggest payout? Was it the French payout? Or did you have any crazy, you get a free car? Like did Fiat come knocking?
No, no, nothing really crazy happened after that, or I don't remember. And if I don't remember, it means it must not have been that crazy. Little thing, there is plenty of little cool thing. There is brand that send you little presents, invite you to some fancy, beautiful places. Of
So
course, there is some cool stuff happening.
So new opportunities, right? So you're older now. People got to be talking to you about broadcast. And I think I came in when you said you didn't lose a fire and you were having fun and feeling healthy. But like how does it go for you from there then? As a 30-year-old medalist in France in half pipe? Because I kind of think it was sick. Like you saw this was a special time period in half pipe. Like if you saw that you were on a level of not killing yourself, you can continue to tomorrow. It
Yeah.
was only a time through 2020. It was like you're either like if you were smart and you just knew you could ski every contest, like that was the winner because you knew the best guy maybe was gonna go. Like 2018 was the gnarliest thing I ever watched in my whole entire life. I didn't even breathe during the whole half pipe competition because half the guys died.
It was
I'm just curious from a woman's side now because I see you have a great competitor with Maddie, right? So like you have someone that's going to push you every fucking event. So it's got to be fun to be at, but then you don't ski anything like her. So you're your own style, your own generation, your own fucking culture. So like what is it now that's actually fun as a 30-year-old who's the best in the world at something that's kind of doing this interesting sport of half pipe woman skiing?
There's plenty of stuff. There's new girls. Cassie arrived and she skis the fire and I really appreciate girl. Always new stuff. Each new obviously it was a new and new thing to live and new girls and new goals and I the next year, the year after the Olympic, I break my knee and my ligaments, and I lost all my sponsors. Like they all decide to cut my contract.
That was what I wanted to ask you because you signed a 2-year deal with your thing through the Olympics, right?
Yeah.
So you hustled your 2-year deal. You got it. You met expectations. So do they say, oh, that's not the angle we're going anymore? Or do they say, oh, you were right? What happens then with this company after the Olympics?
Super easy. there is a new guy at the marketing pole, and this new guy says, okay, we wanted to prove that our material is super is technical, and but now we've got a problem because Marie is known as an Olympic medalist, and so it gives an image to our product that our products are made for extreme good skiers, and it's
Champions.
very far from the people we are selling the products. And this new guy thinks that I'm really getting too far away from the people they sell products, and they decide to cut, saying we need to come back to our bases. Normal people, normal skier, the large base of people doing sports, general sports.
So
Not-
fun fact at this time too, if you were to ever look at powder magazines up until 2014 in the Olympics, it featured a lot of twin tip skiing, a lot of fucking tricking, rails, jumps, everything. And they said the whole industry after the Olympics said we need to be normal and dedicate our lives to the normal skier. So whether it was our niche or what you're talking about right now, which is not a niche, it's like someone that wants to touch everyone, but they could have had champions and people that were good at it and give their lives to it to promote it. But I think it's really funny because I was always bummed on the sport when like Free Skier magazine and Powder and everyone all of a sudden didn't care about us. And they're like, oh, we need to go talk about Billy who likes to trek by himself and you never heard of and tell his story. And I'm like, you've been telling all these kids stories for 14 years. Like it's finally big enough now and no one wants to care about him. So
yeah, it was it had a sense. I understood why this guy would just what he was thinking by doing this, but in another way I was like, God, dude, it's hard, you know. I feel like I made the best I could, and I gave you so much exposition on media, and we've been talking so much about your brand up to me, and now you're just firing me.
So
But
what
then,
does Marie create? Marie don't care. That just means they're dumb. Like who's
yeah.
next?
But it's very funny because, you know, life has always been treating me well. So I finally thought, okay, life is on my side, and she will find something new for me. And it happened. I went. Okay, it's not easy to explain. So Decathlon, this brand, they are building big stores everywhere in France, and one big store is built next to my place, but really like 200 meters from where I live. And so they invited me for the opening ceremony of this big store. So they just fired me, but they invited me to be nice, to be kind. And so as I am nice and kind, I come to shake some hands and see the new big stores just opening in my place. And this night, I met a guy that will become my new I don't know the word in English actually. He pays for me, but he doesn't expect me to do any marketing or whatever. He just gives me money.
Investor?
How do you say that?
I said investor. Iberg said sugar daddy.
Sugar daddy.
That is kind of what it sounds like too.
Here's some money, girl.
Yeah.
Investor. That's it. I met this guy, and he's the guy that owns the whole places, and he rented to Decathlon. And but I don't know. I just met this guy. We start talking, and he asked about my life. I just told him what I'm doing, and I tell him, it's pretty hard right now because I have no sponsors anymore. And he says, hey, you should pass to see me in my office next week. Maybe we can do something. And I pass by, I arrive, I worked on my stuff, and I have everything to explain him. I have.
What do you think he had to offer you? Like, could he give you skis and clothes again? Like, what were you thinking? Like
No,
going
because
into this idea, because
I
once
know.
again, while you're awesome, you're not going to a ski company looking for a sponsorship. You're trying
No.
to create a new concept. So, what is your concept going into this meeting? Does he make
Yeah.
skis and clothing?
This guy is not making skis. He is a huge grocery owner. You know, like he's got grocery stores in France, all over France,
Okay.
and so it's just we match. We match. I like him. He likes me. I pass by his place, but I've been working on my proposition. I still want to propose something, and so he let me explain everything for an hour. And by the end of this meeting, he looks at me and he's like, "Okay, I'll do it." And I'm like, "You'll do it. You'll do what?" But I'll handle all your everything you need to go to the Olympic in 2 years ago in 2 years again. And so I'm like, oh, okay, so but you don't want anything back? And he's like, no, I'm Mary. I'm old enough and I'm rich enough to be able to help you just because you deserve it, and it's cool for me to know that I will maybe be part of your next Olympic goal, and so let's do it. And so
My head hurts so bad. So your company drops you into 2014. You have no skis, outerwear, anything. You do through 2014-15. You still compete.
She gets hurt.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
hurt. Okay, so you're doing these conversations.
Yeah,
Like, do you do a whole season with no sponsorship? 15,
yeah,
16?
15. Yeah,
Okay, and then you meet this guy. And then
yeah.
you're like,
What's
I
this
got
guy's
nothing,
name?
but I'm investing in myself still because this is what I'm trying to understand. Like, if I'm a wealthy person, I'm going to be like, yo, this human's not normal. They invested in themselves again, right? Because your story is why anyone wants to give you anything is because you invest in yourself and then you follow through on a goal. And so that's what I want to make any listener understand. You're an
You
easy
know,
sell.
so his name is Alain Parent, and Parent in French is parents, like your father, you know, like father, mother, parents.
Yeah.
For the story. And I think that when you are a businessman and when you realized everything you wanted to realize and you own your life well, and you know, maybe you want to live something different. And so,
Wants
and
to
what I
give
would
back.
ask
Yeah.
as it was for him probably not much really.
So I understand that now. So he's going to give you, so he says what you need. So in your head, are you thinking, I need X amount of money and that's it? And then you go buy your own skis, boots, and bindings and then
Mm,
clothing? Or how are you even
no, because
proposing? Are you putting a big logo across your chest of his grocery store?
Yeah, because I couldn't do it in another way. You know, I thought that because he was giving me money, I wanted to put his brand on my helmet, but he didn't need it at all,
No.
really. Like, but I did it. But I had to. I had another plan in my head. So you need skis, material, and you need money to build a season. And so I knew that with him, I would have the money, the necessary money, and so I still needed skis. And I started to work with a guy that could build amazing skis, but that had no money. And so I made the process in the other way. I had money from a guy that is owning grocery stores, so that has a lot of money, and I would give the opportunity to a guy that needs to be known, that is brand or just brand new company needs to be known, I will give him the opportunity to be on TV on the Olympics and to ski the great ski for no money. And that was
What
awesome.
makes you want to do this? So, like, you're at a point now, you know the game, you've had a pro model, first pro model ever. You know you have a value in the niche sport of skiing. What I find the most interesting about all this is you're not looking where there's no money, the ski industry.
Yeah.
You know, like, and so that's why I love your story. But what makes you like? I love how you went for the money first. Said, okay, how do I accomplish my goal? Obviously, I need money because you can get product wherever. It's easy once you're a champion, you know. But then when you get angry, the people that give you product don't give you money. That's when the head games start. So you go get this money. Now, how do you? Why don't you go to any fucking normal ski sponsor? Do you know this guy that makes skis personally, or?
No, at first, no. I give a couple of calls to Salomon, Rossignol, and they would not be interesting in my profile because they thought I would ask for money. As I was an Olympic medalist, I would ask for money. I was still winning some World Cup, you know. So they didn't have any money to give to me, or they have an established team already, and so they were not interested. Or even worse, they were not doing any more freestyle ski my
Size.
size. That's the case for the Rossignol, Dynastar.
So are you discouraged, or is this all motivation to go find someone to make a ski?
At one point, I called my ski tech. So my ski tech, he was American. He was living. Chris is living in Denver, and I call him and I'm like, Chris, I met pretty much all the ski brand I know, and I can't really find skis. It's just ridiculous. And he start laughing and he's like, "Oh, Marie, are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm serious." Like, I know the best man ever. He used to create skis for Rossi. He made his own new company. It's brand new. It's wood company. It's called La Fabrique. And he lives next to your place. Like, how can't you know him? And I was like, what's his name? He's like, Christian Alary. Never heard of him. Never heard of La Fabrique. Never heard of anything. He's like, you should call him. He's the man. And he made a new technique. There's no press for them to make skis, so he can do pretty much everything he wants, and he can create a ski for you. Like, he can do everything. He's a magician. Blah blah blah. So I called this guy. I met him. We had lunch together, and before we finished lunch, we knew we would work together, and he became one of my best friends. He's a great guy, and he created the ski I needed.
Amazing. And
Yeah.
he's like, and he lives super close to you as well?
Yeah, it's 1 hour from my place.
This is crazy. So how long was La Fabrique around previous to you meeting him?
Maybe 1 year and a half.
Okay, so
And,
you meet
and it
him,
was
and then do you start to like all of a sudden see the ski places, or do you learn someone else that was working with him that you know? Or is it just like really he was still on a solo mission and you kind of jumped in and like we're like, whew, I've been doing this for fucking 17 years.
he was on a solo mission, but the place where he lives, my mom had a friend living there from back in the time that used to be a mogul skier, but he was like 60 years old. And so I called this guy, and he was like, yeah, I know Christian Larry, I can organize a lunch. And so we had this lunch with this old guy from mogul skiing, 60 years old, me and Christian Larry, an ex-Rossi development ski engineer that just had started his new brand, but he's so nice. He didn't tell me at all back at this time that he's like he has no money. He put everything he had in this brand, and it's really hard to sell his skis. And so, but he doesn't tell me. He's just listening to me, and he's like, okay, I think I can make you a skis. We are in end of September. I'm leaving for Copper in December, and he's like, okay, I can try to make you 2 or 3 pairs. Okay, give me a call back in 3 weeks, and I will tell you. Finally, 2 weeks after he had made one pair of skis, I took them, go to the Glacier try to ski the skis, and the skis are perfect. Seriously, they are really great. So I call him and I'm like, oh, your skis are the shit. I feel like I was skiing on my dinosaur skis when I was 17 years old. It's amazing. I love them. And he's like, no, 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 you have to tell me I can improve, I can make them better. Tell me when you start the turn, when you do this, when you do this. And I'm like, no, 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 no. You don't change anything. Please, can I have 2 more pairs? I take the plane in 3 weeks and leave for Colorado, and I have the first competition. So you don't change anything. He made 2 new pairs. I took the plane, arrived in Colorado at Chris, my ski take place in Denver, and once again I feel like I'm at the place I'm supposed to be, doing the thing I am supposed to be. It's so funny. The story is funny. I arrive with my new skis and I give them to my ski tech, who is the guy that I just called 2 months before, crying like I have no skis, and he gives me solution, which is next to my place, and I arrive with the skis. And dude,
I need to know how, you have a French coach, you're a French person, and then you're on random skis. How does the ski tech that you love so much come into your picture of your life? You know, because it's a big thing. I get it. We have Daniel Brunos in our lives. We have certain people that are the dopest ski techs, you know, Tanner's tech. If you remember him, the bald guy that worked on his skis like awesomely in TJ. But how do you meet your ski tech that's in America?
Chris Taylor was the ski tech forever for US team in ski cross and different riders. He was doing Simon Dumont skis forever, and that's when I met him. So the French team had this new guy supposed to be the ski tech for the Olympic in 2014, and I met this guy, and I have a really bad feeling with this guy. I think he's fucking crazy. He's nuts.
He didn't know how to wax and sharpen.
No, but seriously, he's nuts. And okay, he seems to be a good ski tech, but this guy has got a terrible mental problem, and I can figure it out. And I told the guy, and I told him, "Are you sure you want to work with this guy for the Olympic? Because this guy, he looks not really clear." And but I am nobody at this time, and the guys are in the freeski project team, and they are driving it for a long time, and they are Kevin Roland, and so
Because the nice part about your life, I think, is the fact that Greg was your childhood fucking mentor, your coach. Is that his name, Greg? Like,
Yeah.
I can imagine how that's got to make everything relaxing to go to someone on a French team, right? And be like, Coach, I have this problem or that. Like, it's got to be awesome to
And
have
I
an
told
outlet.
him, and he was like, the guy seems to like him. We will go to Sochi with this guy, and I feel like I need to have a team that fits me.
Yeah.
So I start to talk at X Game with Simon and Anaïs Carado, and they said, we have Chris Taylor make our skis, and he's very good, and he's super fun, and he's such a cool guy, and you should meet him. I meet Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor tells me, I am going to Sochi because I am supposed to do Anais skis and probably Simon because Simon was supposed to be selected. So I'll be there. No matters. Don't worry. I'll do your skis. And I'm like, sure, you sure you can do my skis? Like, yeah, I can do your skis. So I'm super happy. I told Greg, you know what? You're fucking weird guy, ski tech. Do what you have to do with him, but I'm out. If it doesn't matter, if it's cool for you, he's like, yeah, okay, it's cool for me. You have your ski tech, we have ours, it's fun. And but finally, this ski tech, he will make me great preparation in Sochi. And he will change some stuff on my edges, which changed my life. And I would have never asked. And he did it by himself. And I came back from some training,
But the
pre-training.
ski tech is your link to the guy in France, right? So it's all a team. Okay.
Yeah, see,
All right.
everything is connected when you are on a good way. So, and finally, just for the fucking funny story, this weird guy, French ski tech, he, he, he totally like freaked out during the Olympics. He get crazy. He wanted to be on TV. He started to give shit to everybody because he didn't have the good badge, the good pass to go where he wanted to be. And it's been terrible for the guys to try to having have him doing his job. And me, I was with my Chris Terror guy from Denver, smoking dubs, having fun. I wasn't smoking, but he was, and we had super nice connection. And it's this guy 2 years after that tells me, I know someone that could make skis for you.
So you got these dope skis. Do you care at all about getting boots, bindings, clothing, helmet, eyewear? Like, is it anything of a worry or a thought, or do you go buy it? Do you just work with a local ski shop to supply you? How do you fill in the blanks that everyone else, other than you, still to this day, only focus on?
Yeah. I didn't lose a lot of time to make it happen, but I found different little brand. So for the clothes, I found a brand in Sweden, which was super cool. And I found an English
What
brand.
brand was your clothing brand? Because that was
It's SOS.
okay.
It's not. It doesn't exist anymore. Um, and the goggle, it's Afex. It's English, and they're super cool too. But I never ask any money to them. I was just happy that they gave me stuff, and we had good connection, and it was it.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't think anyone still to this day looks at it like the way you do. They do fundraisers, but they don't do the like go and present themselves of why people should invest in them. Like it's a really big skill set. It's crazy. Crazy. What are you thinking, Ethan?
I want to hear about the gold medal, the Olympic, or not the Olympic gold medal, the X Games gold medal.
Ow.
Because that was after your first Olympics, right?
Yeah, it's in between the two. Bon, so I signed. So I found my investor. I decided to work with La Fabrique and 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 my dad passed the same summer. So it's a lot of, my life has been changing kind of, and but I realized I could fix everything, and I do this season 2017. 16, 17, and it's my best season ever. I skied the fire. Each new half pipe, it takes me two run of straight air to have the curve and to be able to do all my tricks. And I don't know. I'm like on fire.
Year 17.
Yeah. And it's super fun because I know that I'm gonna quit skiing the year after the Olympics. So I feel like this season is my last one. So I wanna have fun everywhere. I wanna be sure I will not miss anything. So I'm each time I'm somewhere, I know that I will probably never come back in my whole life in this place. So I try to be sure I've seen everything. And I don't know. I have a really nice season. I win everything. It's from the beginning to the end of the season, and so X Games in the middle. Everything is fun. Everything is perfect. It's the flow.
So epic. And then
So you won.
so
That was your first Aspen X Games. That's what you mean?
Yeah.
Aspen X Games goal. That's so wicked. So do you travel with your family that whole year?
No, this year I'm pretty by myself. I decided I put more money on my on the way I am traveling to have nicer condition. For example, I only fly business to be sure I can sleep because I'm getting older and older and older, and still you have to handle the season. And so instead of taking three plane tickets to fly with my husband and my daughter, I prefer to fly solo, but I fly business to be able to sleep better and to handle much easier the whole season. So it's a different choice for this winter. So at Aspen, I am by myself. Still, I have a French friend that live in Aspen, and so I always stay at her place. So it's kind of family.
Yeah. Not a hotel room.
No, exactly.
do you still have any of that same travel anxiety that drove you away from it? Is it improved now, even though you had like rather than leaving your parents or your friends and boyfriend or your husband at the time when you were in your 20s, like now you have a kid and now you have like actual real world responsibilities. Is travel still hard at that point?
It's okay. It's okay. I can handle it. I'm more able. I'd say I'm more able. Still, I will check my passport and my cell when I'm traveling. Every 20 minutes, I'm checking, open the bags, for example, and check that I still have my passport, or those kind of things that if I lose them, it's gonna be a trouble and something to fix to get back home. I still have at this time I still have this little music, like I need to be sure everything is fixed and perfect to be sure I can go back home. It's not the way, it's not taking the plane for taking the plane, it's not being able to take the plane to go back home. That's what was really hard for me to handle. But it's okay. At this time I'm okay. It's not perfect, but it's better. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 16, 17, you dominate, have fun. Do you qualify for the Olympics that year?
Yeah.
So you go into it once again with the relaxation. Do you go
Exactly.
in with it? Do you go in full schedule? Like say I'm going to do every event leading up to the Olympics.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because I have a new run, I have a new tricks with the 1080, and so I need to skis as much as I can before I go to Pyeongchang.
And you knew that after this Olympics, the 2018 Olympics, that it was over afterwards. You were gonna quit again? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I knew it was the end, and I was 33.
So did you think that you couldn't handle it physically, or like why did you decide to end at 2018?
I wanted to be sure that I could manage the rest of my life correctly, and I wanted to work in the media, in the sports media, and I knew that if I would not do it when I was on top of my career, it would probably have been harder to make it. So, if I would have keep on skiing and disappear a little bit more year after year, then it would have been really hard to knock at the door of big French TV media to sell myself and say, okay, I can talk about sport, I can talk about ski, of course, but I can talk about sport generally. I'm probably someone you could have on TV show and stuff. I knew that if I wanted to make it happen, it had to be at the climax of my famous, small famous.
And to protect your leverage. You had to be relevant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
in a way.
how many concussions did you have from 14 to 18?
Maybe 2 or 3.
Okay. Did you pop out any more babies?
Papa, what?
Did you have any more children?
Oh, pop any more babies still. I have a little boy. He's 2.5. So that happened
Okay,
after.
so not between 14 and 8.
Oh, no.
Okay. So you got your 2018 spot going into 17-18 season. Did you have any setbacks? Did you get injured before the 2018 games?
Yes. Oh, dude. 10 days before we fly to Korea, we are on the last period of training in Grand Montana in Switzerland. Pipe's beautiful. The guys are working on their new doubles that they want to land, brand new one they want to land for the Olympic, and I am supposed to land my brand new 1080, so I'm working on it too, and this you know how it is with outdoor sports. The weather windows where everything is cool, you are on top of what you can do, the pipe is perfectly shaped, it's bluebird, all those details, when they are all here together, it's 3 days in the year, and so it's one of these days, and it's perfect. It's 10 days before we fly to Korea, and I'm here. Great day. And so I work on my 10, and I do once and it's perfect, 2 and it's perfect. So I'm like, yeah, do the more you can. So you can, have your brain can have can mentally have the airtime and everything be fixed in my brain correctly. And so I probably do one too much. And so I do a last one and I crash and I broke my has bone. That's the name, huh? What's the name of this bone?
Tailbone?
Elbow. Yes, one. Oh, it's painful as shit. Ah. So I crash and it's really painful, and then the next morning it's blue everywhere on my butt, and I'm stoked. It's very hard and stoked, and I can't really walk anymore. I'm like, no way, I need to fly in 3 days. So I do X-ray and we see that it's broken.
So it's like just a crack in the tailbone, right? Like,
Yeah.
so it's not like misshaped and pointing in a different direction.
No, it's just you can see that it's broken, but it's still on the good position, and it's shitty, but it's okay for as long as I don't hit my butt again,
I did mine double jumped off a trampoline to my butt. Like I was sent, and I went like 20 feet straight to my butt when I was 13. I can finally, at age 40 something now, sit like on a bar stool where my feet are lower than the ground, like above ground and hanging. It would take me like a half a minute to get up my whole life.
Oh,
This is crazy. You broke your tailbone 10 days before the Olympics.
seriously?
Continue.
So, it's painful, but day after day, it's less and less painful until it's okay. And so we still work on physio, and when I do what I have to do at gym and stuff, we organize the exercise to be sure it's not painful. And so I fly, and the deal is I know what I have to do, but I must take the less risk possible to fall on my butt. So so I have maybe 4 sessions of training before the competition. So this 4 sessions of training on in the pipe ski training. The deal is I do 1 run of straight air, 2 run of tricks, and I quit. So we're sure that we take the less risk possible for me to fall again, because we know that if I fall again, it's not healed. So if I fall again, then I will not be able to compete. And so finally, we put a lot of pressure on the other girls. It's funny enough to be told, because nobody just come for 10 minutes of training. I do 3 runs, run straight air, and 2 run with all my tricks, and then I quit. And nobody knows that I broke my elbow. So the girl starts to look at me like someone very special that is so much confident that she only needs to take 3 runs and she knows she'll be okay. And it works. It works perfectly until the
does.
competition. It's been funny.
That's awesome. Hey, Ethan, take over for a second.
Yeah. I'm interested in all the TV stuff, Marie, because that's what I do for my real job. I help out with the logistics and all the TV trucks. That's my whole wheelhouse. So, how did you get involved with the commentating?
So I've been contacted by a radio first, a radio channel that wanted me on my last year of competition, and so the year of the Olympic, to be able to tell them every 2 weeks, to give them some news about the French team. My role was to find a good story to tell every 2 weeks from the beginning of September until the Olympics, to make sure that people listening to this radio had news regularly until the Olympics. And so I said, sure, I can do that, and it's fun, and let's do it. So I did it. And by the end of the winter, as I quit skiing, I called them and said, okay, I did what I had to do, and it's the end of it. Do you think we could work together on any new emission? And so they said, it's fun that you call us now, because we just talk about it, and we've got a new new radio show on next September, and you could enter the team finally. And so I accept, and I started to work for this radio and enter the team. So it was a show every weekend, and we used to talk about the sports in general, with some how do you say that, actuality. Finally, it was we would talk about what happens in the sport in general, every sports, up to the actuality of sports. with different contests. So sometimes it was about tennis, sometimes it was about Formula One, sometimes it was about golf, and we would follow the year and talk about sports. So it was pretty fun, and it lasts 6 years. and and then when you are on a special show that works, other channel contact me on TV for some commentary, and I started to commentate the freestyle, and step by step, finally, I once for some reason I made the ski cross, and they thought I was good at ski cross, so I kept doing the ski cross too, and the snowboard, and finally I commented a lot of different white sports.
So we didn't do your Olympic after your training and intimidation by confidence. How did qualifiers and finals go?
So at this time I was spending a lot of time with Cassie, and so we've been skiing a bit together, and so we were next to each other at the qualifiers, and she get first, I get second, which was the normal way, I'd say. I mean, if she was skiing the best and I was skiing my best, it was the ranking. She would win and I would get second. And that's what happened. Qualis, and the next day finals. That's what happened, and she did really nice run, and I did my best run ever, which was cool to be able to make to do your best run ever in a half pipe exactly when you have to do it during the Olympic final. That was great.
As your goal of a last run.
Yeah, and so it was three run for finals, and first run I ski well and make some point. Second run I upgrade and get really higher and do the 1080, the 1080 that I never did again since I broke my elbow. And I landed on my feet, and so perfect. I'm super happy. And so the third run, that was the one I was supposed to really try to go higher, and doing the same tricks. And I do higher, but as I do higher, it changed a bit my hair time, and so it changed a bit my technique, and I fell finally on that flare, another new tricks that I just learned. And I fell again on my elbow. Oh my gosh! Luckily, it didn't happen before because it was terrible. And so that was it. No chance to.
So your
challenge.
second silver medal, second everything. This one was felt fully in physical pain.
Yeah, but it was okay because I was really enjoying myself. I've been riding the whole week with pleasure, and this pipe was really nice, and I was very happy for Cassie because she deserved it, and she was a very good friend of mine, and so yeah. And I was okay. I mean, I was 33 years old doing another Olympic. The girls, I was on the podium in 2014 were way lower in the ranking. So
It's crazy. When I said last run, I was like thinking the last run of your career. When you because no one really gets to call last run, right, of your career. It's kind of when your sponsors run out. It's kind of it's very rare. And then the fact that you got to set a goal and then do your best run of your life as your last competitive experience. Pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah. I was really how do you say that, you guys, America?
Stoked.
No, it's faithful. No, not faithful. Thankful.
Thankful?
Thankful. Yeah, I was very thankful. Really.
That's incredible.
So was there anything after a second Olympic medal? Now you're a two-time Olympian silver medalist back in France. Did anyone throw you ridiculous amounts of money? Being like, oh my God, you're the best.
No, not really. No, really no. And you know what? I think that a guy, and it's that sucks to say it, but it's probably the truth. A guy with my whole career and what I did, if I was a guy, I would probably have paid easily my fucking house, and I've been much more easy talking about money. But I'm okay. I'm okay. I did what I had to do, and it's true that, to be honest, 4 years after that, Ailingu arrived at Olympics, see no American girl signing contracts from nowhere with tons of money, and I'm like, okay, well, that's good for her. That's good for. It's on the way. It's good for the sports if you compare to where we are coming from. That we are getting here, it's good.
I want to say, I think it's never going to exist. It's going to come to you. I think your story is special. Why you created your own lane was because you never waited for anything to come to you. You went and got it, whether it's events or sponsors. And if anyone's listening to this far, that's what you can take out of Marie's story, is that it's not going to come to you. Like, no matter what, like nothing's going to come to anyone that wants to create or wants something enough. And so I don't know, it's awesome to hear how you went and just got what you needed to make your dreams achieved, rather than saying, oh, the ski industry doesn't give me enough money, or I won this much events and then they don't pay me that. Because I hear it all the time, and it's just like, man, there's ways. Like,
Yeah,
it's skiing, meet people every day. So
that's
maybe
true.
there's someone that you never thought about having a conversation with. And that's
You
all
know,
you told over and over, was having conversations with people.
in few days, I'm gonna enter the French Olympic Committee um, top management skills. Whenever it's really cool. I've been elected as an athlete, and I'll enter in this special organization, French Committee Olympique. And I had to write a free letter, so everybody will be able to read it and to tell what I think about this. And that's exactly what I said. I said, okay, you know what? I am lucky enough to born in Bourg-Saint-Maurice, in the middle of beautiful Alps. I've been lucky enough to ski my whole childhood. I've been lucky enough of many, many, many things. So I try to tell all the things I've been lucky enough. And then I said, but I will never forget that I've been pushing so much door, and that I have been working so hard to make things happen, and that nothing really happened for free. And that's exactly what you just said. I think that's it. It's the point.
And even the idea that you think you should earn something, right? Like, you didn't get shit like when you came home with 2 medals that financially made your life better. Like with the 2 silver medals from the Olympics. You didn't get it when you came home from teen and those 7,000 people that were celebrating you. And then the Olympic guy being like, you're going to the Olympics next year. Like, no one was handing you money. Like, it was
No,
just like this loud celebration of having the best birthday party of your life.
yeah,
Like, it's just funny because like it doesn't really mean shit, but it's such a high. And it's so funny when those highs really don't mean anything unless what you do with it. Because it's not a matter of, no one's going to give you anything and be like, unless maybe you're like Usain Bolt, but that's a whole different world.
yeah, a bit.
So, well, fuck, Ethan, where are we going from here? We just did a second Olympics. You got some media right after that. We learned life's not a big paycheck when you're a superstar of 2 decades.
Had a baby.
Had a baby.
I'll see if we got any viewer questions that are worth asking. Let's see. If you got anything in the meantime, let me know while I search for this because I posted it a little while ago.
I don't know. I learned so much. Maria's fun.
Yeah, Marie, you're epic.
So many good stories. Oh, I have a question. Did I see you have a documentary on you on Netflix?
Yeah,
Okay, because it's not in America. I try to type it in. Is it only in French or something like this? Does my IP on my thing not allow it?
that's strange because it's all subtitle in English. So I thought it was because you could have it in America.
So let's figure out this link and put it in the bottom of all the descriptions, Ethan.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I'm pretty sure. So what's your documentary about? What's it on?
It's one of my best friend. He was in the Dynastar team when we were young, David Lacotte, and he made this ski film production, then film production called PVS.
Yep.
And so he proposed me when I started to ski again after Sarah's loss. He proposed me to follow me. For the 2 years, for the year and a half, until the Olympics, and to see if it was an happy ending. He knew that he could have a good story to tell, and so I said, yes, sure. I have no money. He said, yeah, I don't need no money. It's a bet. I bet on you, and I'll put the money, and we'll see. And so it was this Eric Heiberg, this French Eric Heiberg, that followed me all this time until the Olympics in Sochi, and so happy ending, and the story, the documentary finished on teen at the QP competition with all those 7,000 people there, and it's cool. But I
When
should
did
see
this movie release?
what's his name?
What year did this movie come out?
Just the following year. I guess we
Okay.
presented it to at I5 festival, and then yes, but he sold it to he could sell it to Netflix maybe 2 years ago.
Okay, that's what I thought because that's the only place you can see it, right? Like
Yeah.
there's nowhere else other than Netflix to see your movie.
Probably not. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the name of it if people are listening, other than the link at the bottom?
It's French. It's Au Nom Des Miens, which means in the name of my people.
Oh, congratulations on having a Netflix documentary.
Well, woo!
I think so. You know, another accomplishment. Like I don't know of anyone else on Twin Tip Skis that I could go watch their story right now on
Yeah,
Netflix.
I was happy for him because he trusted me and he put money and he made something out of it. And I was when he called me and said, "Hey, I could sell it to Netflix." I was super happy for him because he deserved. I mean, he's been believing in it before everybody else, so that was cool.
And this guy's pretty amazing what he did in ski movie stuff, if I remember. Like as
Yeah.
far as all the movies he made, and then like I think he made a documentary on Kelly.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and so like his skill set as a fan from across the ocean, I'm a fan of him.
Good
Sick.
job.
I think we answered like all the majority of the good viewer questions, so this might be it.
Nice.
Sick.
What do you think, Marie? Anything fun to add? Because I just kind of wanted to tell your whole story because it's
epic.
Yeah, it's beyond epic. So I'm sure like whatever you're doing now and whatever you're creating, whatever you're writing up for a proposal for the next project is probably pretty awesome. But is there anything and yeah, I'll end with make the Marie after Olympic women's party. And then just throw a beach party with a quarter pipe with the best girls in the world every year after the Olympics, 2 weeks after, and some spring slush at your home mountain. You don't even need to travel. Just send some fucking shit to Geneva to pick them up at the airport.
No, but maybe for the people that have been listening to us, I'm still thinking that some crazy things are still in front of me, even if we've been talking about all those crazy things that I had that I have been so lucky to live. I'm pretty sure that the craziest is still in front of me, and as everybody else, the craziest is still in front of us, and that's why it's fun to live. Well, so maybe just wait and see for
You
the
know what
coming.
I would like to see, Marie, that I've been trying to pitch to different women over a decade or so? I'd like to see the first ever women's clothing outerwear company come from an actual woman skier that's twin tip generation. Because I've always been the biggest fan of what Kari Tra did in Norway. Like with Kari Tra, and she's a mogul girl, right? And
Yeah,
you got to
yeah,
compete against Kari Tra in the first world championships in Ruka halfpipe. Fun
yeah.
fact. After her Olympic medal in 2002 in moguls. But to see what she was able to do is start with her fan base in the niche of moguls and her country. I just look at it now with women that have twin tips on their feet. Like if there was one women's brand to unite behind, you could make the illest team, the illest concepts that have like events like what you do. But I haven't seen any woman take advantage yet in the history of our sport, 25 years, and create a women's clothing company. They just get bummed they get pink jackets from a company.
Yeah.
So that's what I would poke you to lose sleep over one night.
All right.
That's all I got.
That's all we got. Marie, thank you so much for being on. Your story is so epic, and I'm gonna track down that documentary so everybody else can watch it in addition to listening all the way to the end of this podcast. This 4-hour podcast.
Yeah, amazing. That's a format.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ethan. Thank you, and hope to meet you in person someday.
That'd be great. Yeah. I've been starting to go to Europe a little bit more, so if I end up in France, we could
Do
cross
that.
paths.
Call me. Give me a call.
Yeah, that'd be great. I can get your contact info from Eric, unless you guys just also DM, because otherwise I could just shoot you a message on Instagram. But yeah,
It's great.
yeah, awesome stuff.
Great to see your face, Marie.
Yeah. I'm really happy that I spend my night time with you guys. Take care and have fun for the rest.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Sick. She's dope. Dude, that story is like a movie. Just the whole Sarah the timeline with everything, it's just epic. That is an epic Olympic story.
Because to put it in perspective, man, like, because you're in your 20s, like, this is a little girl who I hung out with, like, when I was like 20 and she was 15 till I was like 25 and she's 20. And
Yeah.
this is like how we all moved at those ages.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to imagine that nowadays because we had so many underage kids that were so normal with middle 20 age kids.
Yeah.
And it was a different vibe because there's no team manager. You know, it's like,
Yeah, it's definitely more
Freiburg and Mammoth for 2 months.
It's more contained now. There's academies, there's coaches, there's schools, there's parents. There's parents that get it now. It's not like this unknown thing anymore. Like the parents are like they follow their kids to all the comps. It's like any other travel sport now.
No, dude, imagine like she did all that and it took her dad shaking the president's hand.
To be like, oh, you did a good job.
15 years, like 3 reinventions.
So sick. Word. Well, the sun's coming out here a little bit. I'm gonna get skiing, but how many doobies you smoke?
3, 4, 5, 6. 12. 3.5 hours, 12. Shit.
12.
3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Those big numbers.
Boop, 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 boop.
Over 4.
Yeah, we're creeping up on the 4 DPH. Word. And next show we have Mr. Ethan Cook. What you know about E Cook?
I just know his name's everywhere. I know he rolls with our Armada team. I know everyone knows him. So whatever he's doing something. What do you know about him?
I have gotten to know E Cook quite well over the past year. I would see him around everywhere. Like, it's okay. I have a good homie, Ryan Barrick. It's the Ski Bum podcast on the Two Planker Network. He's a good dude in my life. And E Cook grew up at his mountain, but he's much younger. So Ryan knew him first. He's like, oh yeah, E Cook's that goofy kid from my home mountain. And then I go to Jib League, and I learned that like I would see him at X Games. I would see him all over, and he's just like the busiest filmer in the world right now, maybe other than Brady.
So
And-
what? So you consider Cook? We're talking to a cameraman. We're talking to an
Cameraman.
editor.
Cameraman, well, and dope editor too. But like he films more than anybody I know other than Brady. Like
So
he's
we
at
know
every shoot.
E. Cook as a filmer, like how
Yeah.
maybe you used to know a photographer as a photographer.
Yeah,
Because I mean, filmers weren't like still you had to be editors
yeah.
up until maybe I think what's his name, Hot Laps and E. Cook. All of a sudden, a cameraman became hot.
Yeah. Well, the other thing
Even
that he
Brady's
does too.
like all levels, right? Brady's deep editor,
Yeah,
visionary dude.
yeah. It's funny. I think with me, I just assume like the filmer is also the editor. I guess that's just like a tacit expectation for me. Like E Cook's the OSAP of this season. We had OSAP on last season. We're having E Cook on this season. But the thing that E Cook does too that's sick is he knows how to cater these, create these in-person events. He has an event space in Salt Lake City. He does movie.
Yeah, that's what I like.
contests.
I've
Yeah.
seen all that shit. I'm always like, fuck, man, if there was a space, because the community's so big in Salt Lake,
Yep.
and so if you just had a place for them to gather. How many people in Salt Lake always just be like, should we go to the Legion or the VFW?
Yeah.
And it's just like, what if the VFW is the ski hub?
Exactly.
Thing, some ski movies.
Yeah, so he's just the type of kid that just goes out and does it, and I love it. And he was also one of those guys that was like, "Yo, I want to talk to Iberg," and I respect when people go after what they want. So I'm like, you know what? You're our filmer this season. You're on here. So
Fuck yeah! Well,
yeah.
I'm stoked. Where's he from?
he's from Pennsylvania, lives in Salt Lake City, but he's in Rick Scranton right now filming for the Armada movie. I would assume, I haven't confirmed that, but like Quinn is there, and I think is Phil there?
Phil's there. I seen
Phil's there.
Bishop's out there.
Yeah,
We got
yeah,
a couple other guys, so that'll be fun. We're talking to him from there.
Yeah,
See how his
exactly.
internet connection is.
Yeah, well, hope it's good. We're catching him for a late afternoon session, so we'll see. But yeah, this kid's doing a lot, so it'll be a good one.
Awesome, man. Well, once again, another fucking awesome conversation.
Yep. Thank you, everyone that listened to the very end. If you didn't know about Marie, now you know. She's the truth. Like she's so dope. So that was tight. And I guess
Awesome.
we'll leave it at that. We'll see everybody next week.
Peace.
Peace out.